Chapter 268. With one hit, Lu Yi suddenly turned into a green mist and Lu Chen's combo hit nothing. Damn, so strong. Lu Chen quickly turned around and the dark eye of the gods on his shoulder quickly found Lu Yi's position. Dark Night Flicker. Lu Chen didn't use quick movement since he was being attacked by flower petals. Because the flower petals didn't have a fixed path, even the eye of the gods couldn't determine where the petals would land. Quick movement wasn't teleportation, but rather fast movement. While moving fast, he would still be attacked by more flower petals. But Dark Night Flicker would make him disappear for a short period of time, so he wouldn't be attacked. Now, Lu Chen has to be so careful and calculative. Take another hit from Old Sun. This strike had finally hit its mark. Immune, physical immune, -1 million, poison, resist, -1 million, poison, resist. With one attack, it dealt 2 million damage. Lu Chen found that his poison was ineffective against Lu Yi and was also resisted. Only the poison pill Ghost's poison could deal damage. Maybe my poison is too simple, so it's easy to detoxify. Lu Chen guessed. But the good news was that although the poison from the Poison Spider and Azure Python bloodlines were resisted, their effects were still there. One was poisoned for 6 seconds, dealing a total of 6 million damage. The other was a 7-step poison, increasing the poison with every step, dealing a total of 10,800,000 damage. The two poisons dealt a total of 16,800,000 damage. Adding in the initial 12 million damage, Lu Chen's attack could deal 28 million damage. At this time, Lu Yi's HP was also displayed. 100 million. Damn, this is a quasi-heaven domain boss. How much HP does a heaven domain boss have? Luckily I had the help of that poison, otherwise I wouldn't be able to beat this woman. After Lu Yi was poisoned, she looked at Lu Chen in shock. It's the 10,000 poison pill. You actually joined forces with Yao Lao and the others to kill me. Lu Chen coldly snorted, in order to refine pills, you let your clansmen absorb pill toxins. Who knows how many kinds of toxins have accumulated over thousands of years. Even spirit pills have turned into poison pills. Lu Yi, even I think you deserve to die. You want to kill me with just a myriad poison pill? You must be dreaming. Cut the crap. I'm going to kill you today. Lu Chen pounced towards Lu Yi. At the same time, Lu Yi once again turned into green smoke. Forgetting river fog. It's useless. I have Heaven's Eye. Lu Chen shouted. He turned around and used haste to rush towards Lu Yi, who had yet to fully reveal herself. This time, Lu Chen was not the only one attacking. The 12 doppelgangers also used night teleportation. 13 units simultaneously attacked Lu Yi. Unfortunately, the doppelgangers did not have the effect of the myriad poison pill. After all, this was an equipment special effect, and could not be inherited by the doppelgangers. In addition, the doppelgangers were also unable to stun Lu Yi. This female character was immune to all other effects of physical attacks. Too strong. Lu Chen exclaimed. However, Lu Chen's staff once again dealt a huge amount of damage. After 2 attacks, Lu Yi's HP had already dropped by half. Lu Chen was now relieved. He had a huge natural advantage against Lu Yi. Killing her would not be difficult. Lu Yi also did not expect Lu Chen's poison to be so strong. After 2 attacks, her 100 million HP was left with half. However, what Lu Chen did not expect was that Lu Yi, who was at a disadvantage, suddenly laughed wildly. Ha ha ha, interesting. Solipsistic, you are very strong. However, the stronger you are, the more I like it. After speaking, Lu Yi waved her hand and summoned the golden cauldron in the middle of the battlefield. Cauldron against heaven's will. Lu Yi fiercely slapped the 2 handles of the golden cauldron. The golden cauldron suddenly sank into the ground. In the next second, Lu Chen felt an irresistible force pulling him down from the ground. Ha ha ha, solipsistic, I can say that you do not have great luck. You only obtained Yao Lao's myriad poison pill, but not Yao Ying's colorless medicine body. You cannot break free from my square sky cauldron. Lu Chen was shocked. Damn, did I step on the map? Speaking of which, after Yao Lao gave him that pill, he had been in a hurry to kill Poison Master Lu Luo. He really did not have the confidence to step on the entire Ghost Valley. The possibility of missing an NPC was very high. Motherfucker, what kind of dungeon is this? Does it have to be so difficult? Lu Chen was about to curse. Without a quest item, Lu Chen could not resist the suction force under his feet. Soon, his whole body was sucked into the cauldron. Ha 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 ha, I have materials again. I will refine you now. The temperature in the cauldron was extremely high. Lu Chen's blood sacrifice shield was quickly being consumed. The undead throne was doing its best to restore the shield's durability. This is great. I failed miserably. Lu Chen paced back and forth in the cauldron. The space here was quite large. Lu Chen tried to use Night Flash, but to no avail. He also wanted to break the cauldron, but the cauldron did not even show a health bar. Motherfucker, now I have really become Sun Wukong. What do I do? What do I do? Lu Chen tried to calm himself down. 10 minutes later, the temperature in the cauldron dropped significantly. It seemed to have entered the pill fusion stage. At this moment, Lu Chen's undead throne and blood sacrifice shield were finally unable to resist the cauldron's refinement. They completely disappeared. The cauldron began to refine his body. Skin has failed. Lu Chen's human skin could no longer withstand the high temperature and directly melted. Lu Chen also revealed his original body. However, just as Lu Chen was at his wit's end, he suddenly realized that his original body was changing. Previously, Lu Chen's original body was a mixture of the characteristics of various wild monsters. It was a mixture of 4. To be precise, it was a mixture of 10 different creatures. It retained some of the characteristics of various creatures and looked even more terrifying. However, in the cauldron, Lu Chen's body began to distort. Motherfucker, what the hell? His single head returned to his neck. The snake tail merged with the spider's butt, and the spider's legs gradually twisted into 2 legs. The wooden horns on his head directly turned into 2 beast horns. The rotting body on his body gradually became filled with muscles. The characteristics of various creatures were actually fused in the cauldron. What's going on? Lu Chen was stunned. Suddenly, Lu Chen's eyes flashed as he thought of a possibility. Wait. Lu Yi wants to refine me. I and the surrounding herbs are actually materials. She wants the herbs to absorb me. But we're all herbs. Why can't I absorb them? In the beginning, the fire in the cauldron was very fierce. At that stage, Lu Yi should be refining me, but she didn't expect me to last so long. Now that the fire is small, it might have entered the fusion stage. The surrounding herbs have already been refined. In fact, they're already considered semi-finished products. They have a certain medicinal effect. If I fuse them, I can absorb their medicinal effect. Lu Chen was not very good at refining medicine. This was the only situation he could think of. Right, look at the basic attributes. Opening the character panel, Lu Chen found that his basic attributes were indeed increasing. However, this was not the main point. The main point was, the poison extraction weapons countdown had stopped. No, that's impossible. This is a permanent special effect. Lu Chen was dumbfounded. Chapter 269. 1 million poison damage became a permanent special effect. Just thinking about it was exciting. Of course, Lu Chen still didn't know if this had anything to do with him being in the cauldron. Half an hour later, Lu Chen's appearance had completely changed. The ugly creature from before had disappeared. At this moment, Lu Chen's overall appearance seemed to have been reborn. His appearance was between a human and a demon. He had a resolute face, with two curved demon horns on his forehead. His eyes emitted a green light. Every time he slightly turned his head, his eyes would emit a green light. His human body had a pair of demon wings. His body was covered with green runes that faintly glowed. Lu Chen saw his new appearance in his personal panel and took a deep breath. This appearance is not bad. It feels like a demon hunter. In addition, as he absorbed more of the medicinal effects, his 3 attributes and spiritual power attributes all increased to varying degrees. Increasing my attributes while lying down. This feeling is too good. Lu Chen never thought that he would actually benefit from a disaster and become stronger during the smelting process. After an unknown amount of time, the lid of the cauldron opened. Lu Yi looked at the cauldron with an excited expression. Come, let's see what I've refined. The moment the lid opened, a huge amount of black mist gushed out. Ha 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 ha, it must be a top-grade pill. Sure enough, the stronger the medicinal catalyst, the stronger the pill refined. But at this moment, a figure suddenly flashed out from the mist and appeared in front of Lu Yi. Lu Chen was only half a meter away from Lu Yi. Under close observation, Lu Chen discovered that this woman was too perfect. Unfortunately, under such a beautiful face hid a vicious heart like a snake. Fierce tiger descends the mountain. With a boom, Lu Chen's staff came down. Lu Yi didn't even have time to dodge and was hit directly. 28 million damage. Lu Yi finally reacted. She turned into smoke and retreated. Then, she looked at Lu Chen in horror. Impossible, impossible. How are you still alive? It's impossible for you to last that long in the medicinal cauldron. Lu Chen smiled. In our battle, I made a mistake. I didn't gather all the items needed to deal with you before coming to kill you. You also made a mistake. You underestimated me too much. Now, we're back at the same starting point. This time, I won't make the same mistake again. After saying that, Lu Chen quickly moved in front of Lu Yi. You're already dead. Impossible, this is impossible. Now, Lu Chen no longer had to fear Lu Yi. The cauldron was useless against him. Lu Yi's health couldn't withstand Lu Chen's high poison damage. In just a few minutes, Lu Yi had fallen to the ground. No. Impossible. I still haven't refined that pill. A golden cauldron goes against the will of heaven, and I still can't go against the will of heaven. Lu Chen looked at the dying Lu Yi and shook his head. You only remember the first half of your Divine Herbalist Valley sentence, but you forgot the second half of Divine Herbalist Valley sentence. A benevolent heart saves the world. Lu Yi murmured the first half of the sentence. Then, Lu Chen smiled helplessly. You think I forgot? Ha 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 ha, how many years have you lived? How many things have you experienced? Life is death, and emptiness is reality. Since all things are mutually reinforcing and restraining each other, how can you jump to conclusions about good and evil? Didn't the trip to Ghost Valley wake you up? Do you know what's in the second heaven? Do you know how strong they are? Do you know how cruel they are? If it weren't for them, I would still be the young miss of Divine Herbalist Valley. I would still be picking herbs with Yao Lao and playing with the children in the valley. If you're not strong enough, how can you save the world? Solipsistic, you're too young. Remember my words. A benevolent heart saves the dying and heals the wounded. A benevolent heart cherishes Jiutian. Lu Chen frowned. Lu Yi's words surprised him. Could it be that Lu Yi didn't sacrifice her people because she wanted to become strong? If you're not strong enough, how can you save the world? In order to save the world, you didn't hesitate to let yourself fall into eternal damnation. In comparison, it seemed that Lu Yi's view of the big picture was more admirable. For me, lone tyrant, I've already failed, but you still have a chance. After Lu Yi finished speaking, she took out a pill from her sleeve with difficulty and threw it to Lu Chen. This is your reward. Lu Chen frowned and took the pill. Obtained item, Jotian Golden Spirit Pill, *1, quality, Immortal Pill, effect, quenches the body and permanently increases spiritual energy by 1000 points. The attributes were very strong, and it was an immortal pill that Lu Chen had never seen before. However, Lu Chen was a little distracted. The woman lying in front of him had almost lost all her HP. The system notified him that she was now heavily injured and could be killed with one more hit. However, Lu Chen couldn't bring himself to do it. This side quest had touched Lu Chen too much. He had never thought that he would experience such a soul-stirring journey in a Jotian game. If this was a virtual plot created by Tianqing, Lu Chen would definitely give Tianqing a standing ovation. Such a plot had exceeded his understanding of the game. It was too ingenious and had too many twists and turns. It could even be said that it had subverted some of Lu Chen's ideas. Solipsistic, kill me and you'll be able to clear the stage. Do it, Lu Yi said. Lu Chen sighed and did not make a move. Kill me. I'm too tired. I'm begging you. Lu Yi looked at Lu Chen pleadingly. Didn't you promise Yao Lao to kill me? Have you forgotten? If you still don't want to do it, then I can already foresee that after the second heaven opens, you will fall like the other geniuses. Lu Chen walked step by step towards Lu Yi. He held the wishful staff tightly in one hand and looked down at Lu Yi. Don't worry, I won't be merciful. I'm not as merciful as you think. Lu Yi smiled slightly. Well, very good. This way, you may be able to live a little longer in the second heaven. Lu Chen raised the wishful staff, but no one knew how much strength he used. Can you promise me one thing? Lu Yi looked at Lu Chen. What? Kill Linggu, apothecary of the second heaven. He leads a force and is highly respected. He is the most honorable person in the second heaven. But please help me, kill him. Activated the hidden quest, Sanctimonious, quest description, 1,000 years ago, Linggu apothecary learned in Shenong Valley. After learning, he killed Lu Yi's entire family, stole the forbidden recipe of Shenong Valley, refined millions of mortals, and set foot in the second heaven. Quest content, kill Linggu apothecary. Quest reward, all the souls in the haunted valley will be released. Realm pill *1, level below 70 will be directly upgraded by 10 levels. The reward was not very attractive. When he reached the second heaven, Lu Chen was confident that he would have no problem leveling up. However, Lu Chen did not hesitate and accepted the quest. I accept your request. Lu Chen took a deep breath. I will let you rest in peace. After that, Lu Chen smashed the staff down. In the faint green fog, Lu Chen heard many people's voices. Thank you. Chapter 270. The next moment, Lu Chen stood in front of the Tower of Babel. The fourth door in front of him had disappeared as expected. It seemed like this dungeon was gone. Lu Chen looked at his quest. Ghost Valley had been cleared. Not bad. He looked back at the 3 doors behind him. Speaking of which, that spiritual martial apothecary seemed to have gone from the first heaven to the second heaven. If that was the case, did he defeat Demon Apothecary? Lu Chen looked at his weapon again. 1 million poison damage was still there. What an insane amount. Ah, my hands are itching. Lu Chen thought about it and held back for the time being. The Divine Blood Demonic Seed quest was only missing 3 mythical beasts. Firmament City had at least 2, so the quest was almost complete. It was best to wait for the quest to be completed before challenging the boss. Otherwise, when the second heaven opened, something unexpected would happen. Since I'm here, I'll skip the big ones. Let's go for the small ones. In fact, Lu Chen was still a little depressed. It was mainly because he felt a little guilty for killing Lu Yi. While his clone was farming the boss, Lu Chen leaned against the rock wall and AFK. Sometimes, having another identity was necessary. Just like now, If Lu Chen chatted with someone as nameless, it would be difficult for the other party to express their true feelings. However, it was different when he spoke as morning newbie. Lu Chen once again entered the Zhoutian Elite Players group. The group was currently discussing a screenshot. No one knew where it came from, but it was a screenshot of an enhanced divine martial spear. Wow, this attribute, strength plus 1100. There's still humanity left? That's too strong. To add 2 points, you need 2 spears. How did that guy get them? The divine martial set is indeed the strongest equipment now. Oh, Nameless set is not worth mentioning. His set is a bug. Nameless is boring. Really, let's talk about the divine martial set. Lu Chen was speechless. Was he excluded from the players now? What kind of treatment was this? As for equipment, Lu Chen wasn't interested at all. His devil set was stronger than the divine martial set. Moreover, he also had a strong 5 divine martial set. It would be strange if he felt anything when he saw the strong 2. Newbie, morning, I would like to ask, have you encountered any tasks in Zhoutian that left a deep impression on you? Administrator, people strong but not bald, hey, a newcomer is here. Did you encounter a mission? Zhoutian missions are quite interesting. You can try them out. Splitter of the world, now that our levels are high, we can't remember the quest clearly. Someone posted a quest guide on the official website. You can take a look at it in the morning. It should help you a lot. Administrator, Aunt Yi, Little Meng Xian, did you encounter any fun missions? I've done all the quests on the official website. If you don't know how to do it, I can help you. The people in this group were quite enthusiastic. Newbie, morning, I've completed the mission. I'm just a little touched. I killed an NPC that shouldn't have died. Administrator, Aunt Yi, is there such a mission? That's impossible. I don't even remember such a mission. Which map is it from? Splitter of the world, hey, Little Yi Z, do you still need to ask? It should be a low-level map mission. Morning, don't do those useless missions. The early rewards aren't good enough. Hurry up and level up. The later rewards are the best. Administrator, people strong but not bald, if that's the case, then those mission rewards are all rubbish. If you have a divine weapon, then it's better than anything else. Newbie, morning, no way. Some mission rewards are quite good. Lu Chen saw that they were quite enthusiastic, so he kindly reminded them. For example, in his mission in this instance, he received an elixir that added 1000 spiritual energy. This was equivalent to the spiritual energy of all 5 divine weapons. Moreover, it was directly added to his basic attributes. This made him even stronger. Splitter of the world, hey, you don't believe me. Tell me, what reward did you give? Lu Chen didn't reply. If he released the elixir, then he probably wouldn't be able to stay in this group anymore. Administrator, people strong but not bald, newbie morning, let me show you my weapon. It's from Tong Tian Tower. Then, Brother Baldy posted his level 50 purple weapon. It was a gun that was strengthened 3 times. Its basic attributes were increased to 1000, its attack was also very high, and its special effects were quite good. Administrator, people strong but not bald, see, this is the equipment from Tong Tian Tower. How is it compared to those useless missions you did? Don't look at my purple weapon. Actually, orange weapons aren't necessarily the best. It's basically impossible to strengthen an orange weapon, but a purple weapon is different. My strengthened 3 purple weapons' basic attributes are increased to 1000. If it's strengthened 4 purple weapon, its attributes will be higher than that orange weapon. Zhoutian Feng Qingyang, Brother Baldy really has an idea. You're right. Instead of getting a stronger 5 orange weapon, it's more practical to get a stronger 4 purple weapon. Morning, you should learn more from Brother Baldy. It'll be helpful for your future development. Lu Chen took a deep breath. What kind of help is that? Right now, the stronger 5 divine weapons are eating dust in his inventory. Newbie, morning, makes sense. Administrator, and Yi, oh right, there are 2 more days before the Asia server merges. When the war is imminent, do you want to go online as soon as possible? Jiutian Feng Qingyang, of course we want to go online. When the time comes to snatch the city lord of the main city from other countries, it'll be a war of 10,000 groups. Newbie, morning, I've heard some news. It's best if you don't go to Firmament City after the server merges. Go online 3 days later. Jiutian Feng Qingyang, what news? Newbie, morning, I don't know the details. My friend told me. It's best if you don't go online as soon as possible. Jiutian Feng Qingyang, your friend is just scaring us. When the time comes for the war of 10,000 groups, if you don't go online, you'll be giving Firmament City away for nothing. Administrator, people strong are not bald, replying to Jiutian Feng Qingyang, morning and his friends' levels are low, so it's normal that they don't go online. Jiutian Feng Qingyang, that's true. Lu Chen shook his head. It seemed like they wouldn't listen to his advice. Lu Chen went to the official forum and posted a post using the ID solipsistic. June 22nd, Asia server merges. Huaxia players, please don't enter Firmament City. I'm doing a mission. As soon as this post was posted, it was instantly pinned by the players. Is this really Mad God's post? Could it be an imposter? Looking at his previous posts, it seems to be Mad God's. But why can't we go to Firmament City after the server merges? Mad God is a little selfish. When the server merges, the Asia server is snatching the main city. If we don't go online, the main city will definitely be gone. Did he get paid? What kind of mission does he want us to not go online? If Nameless is the one who's helping us, he'll definitely help us fight the foreign server. Mad God actually wants us to not go online. What's his motive? Lu Chen shook his head. His good intentions were taken for granted. Suddenly, he understood Lu Yi a little. Sometimes, the more you explain something, the worse it gets. Forget it, do what you want. Lu Chen closed the official website. Anyway, I've already notified them. Don't blame me if I kill them. For the past 2 days, Lu Chen had been farming the first and second bosses in Tong Tian Tower. Occasionally, he would get some equipment and sell it for money or leave it for mad waves. 2 days later, Lu Chen was already level 52. At 1 p.m., the Jiutian server merges. All the servers in the Asia server, starting from Firmament City, would be merged into one. Jiutian had truly achieved hundreds of millions of players in one server. This time, the merging took a long time, a full 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours later, when the Jiutian server was opened again, countless players went crazy as if they were in a game. Everyone was thinking about fighting for the main city. The number of players in the game instantly increased. Lu Chen looked at the data displayed on the official website. He shook his head and sighed. Sitting in the game cabin, Lu Chen said calmly, "Enter the game." Chapter 271. This time, when the game loaded, there was a new content, real-time simultaneous translation system. It took a little longer than before. After 10 minutes, the game loaded and he entered the game. When his eyes lit up, Lu Chen could see the Jiutian server clearly. Now, Firmament City was more than 10 times bigger than before. It took up a lot of space, and with the increase in the number of guild territories around it, the size of Firmament City could only be described as terrifying. Lu Chen shook his head. Such a big area, how many people do I have to kill? Even if Firmament City was 10 times bigger, it would not be able to accommodate so many players. If they wanted to enter Firmament City and take over the guild territories, they would have to see who was stronger. Around him, there were team commanders shouting at the top of their lungs. What was interesting was that no matter what language they used, Lu Chen's system would automatically translate it into Chinese. 3 teams, surround them from the right, quick. Kill them first. That's the Vietnamese server, kill them. Hoa Xia server, don't kill each other, kill the other servers first. Hey, the Indonesian server is fighting the Hoa Xia server over there, go help them. Korean server, come over here first, don't get separated. Hoa Xia server has too many people, other servers, don't fight each other, kill the Hoa Xia server first. There were all kinds of beautiful skills everywhere, and teams were killing each other. Some teams were cooperating with their allies, while others were plotting against each other. For this Asia server merger, these teams had been preparing for a long time. Everyone was fully focused on fighting for the limited guild territories. As for the city lord position, it should only be discussed when there were not many teams left. Currently, no team dared to hope for the highest position. The server had just opened, and the players had already gone crazy. Lu Chen found a cliff that was 40 to 50 meters high and sat there watching the players killing each other. The number of players was hard to estimate, and the battle had even extended to the forest path in the north. The entire Firmament City was dark. In front of Firmament City, it was like the end of the world. After watching for a while, Lu Chen shook his head. It seemed like his friendly reminder was not useful at all. Alright, now that we've seen the show, let's hurry up. Since we've already massacred the entire city, we might as well force the mythical beasts out as well. With that, Lu Chen removed his human skin. Today, no one can stop me. Brothers, Eastern Sage is the strongest. Arrogant. You dare to say that you're the strongest? Have you asked our Yamato Kagura guild? Dream on. None of you can stop Hell Valley. Outside Firmament City, hundreds of teams were fighting a bloody battle. It was hard to tell which server these teams were from, but they were only a step away from entering Firmament City. Although they did not kill their way into Firmament City, entering the city required not only strength, but also luck, seizing the initiative, and many other factors. To be able to force their way through the heavy encirclement and reach the gates of Firmament City, their strength was already very strong. At the very least, they were first-rate guilds in their respective countries. From the number of max-level players and the number of divine martial equipment on this battlefield, one could deduce this point. Hundreds of top teams from each country, as well as the strongest players from each server, were fighting a chaotic battle. The scene was unimaginable. But in the midst of this chaotic battle, the ground beneath their feet began to shake. A line of words appeared on the notice board in front of Firmament City's gates. Warning, demonic invasion. Demonic invasion. Demonic invasion. Firmament City's divine guardian beast has awakened. Activating 5th stage defensive array, Yin-Yang Black Tortoise Divine Armor Array. The rumbling of the earthquake was the awakening of Firmament City's divine guardian beast. One of the biggest reasons why Lu Chen chose to attack the city at this time was because Lingxiao City was currently in a masterless state. There was no city lord, no guards, only a divine guardian beast. For Lu Chen, forcing the divine guardian beast out was a piece of cake. What, a demonic invasion? Firmament City has a divine guardian beast? Is the divine guardian beast the cause of the earthquake? What demonic invasion? Isn't this making a mountain out of a molehill? Look at how many players there are. Which demonic beast would dare to invade Firmament City? Just as everyone was wondering, someone in the distance suddenly screamed. My God, what is that? Everyone looked into the distance. On a cliff 40 to 50 meters high in the distance, a figure was sitting leisurely. He was muscular and dark green in color. His skin was covered with light green runes that glowed faintly. This guy had a human head, but there was a pair of exaggerated demon horns on his head that extended backward. On his back was a pile of huge grayish-brown fleshy wings that were still folded. That's the demonic beast. It doesn't look very big. Looking from this distance, it's only 2 to 3 meters. Although to some people, the demonic beast was far away, because there were players fighting under the cliff, they could roughly guess the size of that guy. No way, why did Firmament City activate the defensive array from so far away? Even the divine guardian beast has awakened. Is there a need to make such a big commotion for such a small boss? The demonic beast's size was indeed smaller than the average boss. It could not be compared to those super bosses in team dungeons. A boss of this level dares to come to Firmament City? Is there something wrong with its brain? There are so many players, one spit from each of them could drown it. He heard the players' discussion. Lu Chen sat there and smiled slightly. He just felt that it was interesting. Thinking back, when he was only 2 or 3 stars, the players were scared to death when they saw him and treated him as a super boss. However, today, when he had truly become a super boss, the players were no longer afraid of him. You've all become stronger. Lu Chen smiled slightly. Well, my real identity is a wild monster after all. It's time to return to the identity of a wild monster. After saying that, Lu Chen slowly stood up. He looked at the cliff and looked at Firmament City. Below the cliff, there was a black mass that could not be differentiated. At a glance, as far as the eye could see, it was all enemies. And this time, Lu Chen revealed his own ID in reality. An ID that only appeared after he was fused and refined by the medicinal cauldron. Just 4 words, but it shocked all Huaxia's players. Solipsistic. Look, it actually has an ID. Fuck, he is. Solipsistic. He is. Huaxia's mad god. Oh my god. He is mad god. Fuck, my brain is a little short. Why is mad god in this form? He also got a transformation skill. It feels different from nameless demonic beast transformation. That's not right. After nameless transformation, Firmament City would not give an alarm, but this time, Firmament City directly called the alarm. Even the mountain protection array and the mythical beast came out. Could it be, that is Mad God's real body? Mad God's real body is a demonic beast. Lu Chen was also very depressed. He was so far away from Firmament City. Why did he call the police? How big was his demonic aura? Lu Chen chuckled and shook his head. Anyway, the system was afraid that it would not cause a big enough commotion. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Lu Chen slowly raised his head. His voice was not loud, but it spread throughout the entire map. Today, those who block me, die. Chapter 272. As soon as he said that, the battlefield of hundreds of millions of people fell silent for a moment. Nameless was very strong. He had once paralyzed the entire Korean server by himself. However, compared to Mad God, Nameless was like a little brother. There were hundreds of millions of players here. Moreover, they were no longer low-level players that could be trampled on. There were too many max-level players here. Many of them had divine martial skills or highly enhanced purple equipment. Moreover, after the closed beta players appeared, the development of each server gradually became more different. In each server, there were also strong players that they believed in. Today was different from the past. However, Mad God still said those words calmly. To be precise, it was more like an announcement of this decision. Mad God is going to massacre the city. The Huaxia players looked at the devil in disbelief. Mad God's reputation overseas was far less than Nameless. The foreign players naturally did not understand why the Huaxia players had such a reaction. Huaxia's Mad God. Who is that? Is he strong? Is he as strong as our Yamako's Divine Treasure Unification? TSK, the people from the Huaxia server always like to make a fuss out of nothing. After the merging of the servers, I'll show you what a true expert is. Even if John Doe is here, he will still be defeated by our Jia Ba. I don't know if he's strong or not, but I know that this guy is arrogant enough. I'd like to see what right he has to say such words. Firmament City's mountain protection formation is a Tier 5 formation. The mountain guardian beast must be even stronger. I'm afraid that even if we let him pass, he won't be able to enter Firmament City. At the top of the cliff, Mad God spread his wings, swooped down, and landed steadily inside. He took out the wishful staff and the devil's blade. Solipsistic, right? I'll let you be arrogant. A wave of foreign players came out from the side. Seeing that these people were about to rush over, Lu Chen did not even look at them. Your reaction is so slow. I think you're just making yourself look like a wild monster and bluffing. Kill him. At that moment, a giant dragon rose from behind the cliff. What is that? It's Nameless' mount, the 9-winged sky dragon. Nameless is here. Nameless obviously could not come, but his mount was here. Without another word, the 9-winged celestial dragon spat out a mouthful of raging flames. The endless stream of flames poured out like seawater, instantly submerging 100 meters around Lu Chen. Oh my god, isn't that a mount? Why are their skills such high damage? And he was still losing HP. This won't do, quick, take the pills. Part of the 9-winged celestial dragon's attributes were linked to its master. Now that Lu Chen's three-dimensional spiritual power was extremely high, the 9-winged celestial dragon's attacks were even more terrifying than before. Taking drugs? In the face of 14,570 fire damage per second, even peak-grade healing potions were useless. The surrounding players did not last long and were the first to die. The 9-winged celestial dragon flew towards the distant battlefield. After circling a few times, it burned another large piece of land. Unable to attack the 9-winged sky dragon, the players could only watch helplessly as the sky dragon slaughtered the monsters wantonly. At this moment, some of the foreign server players finally realized how terrifying Mad God was. My god, why does he have such a terrifying mount? One mount against an army, this boss is too scary. In the flames, Solipsistic walked slowly, like the Grim Reaper, making people feel satisfied. Solipsistic's appearance had successfully shifted the aggro. Now, more and more teams on the battlefield had stopped fighting. They all looked at the figure walking slowly in the flames in shock. Is Mad God here to fight for the City Lord position? If so, Nameless shouldn't be here, no one should be able to beat him. John Doe has lent his mount to Mad God. I don't think he'll show up. No, Mad God has activated Firmament City's defense, he might not be able to enter the city. At this moment, several Southeast Asian team leaders could not stand it anymore. What are you afraid of? I don't care if he's a player or a boss, he's just one person. There are so many of us, why should we be afraid of him? We have so many divine martial arts sets, can't we beat him? Kill him. Yes, kill this guy first, then take the main city. Before they could finish speaking, dozens of sword auras swept over from afar. These sword auras were unbelievably fast and came from tricky angles. What was more frightening was that their damage was shocking. Everywhere they passed, thousands of players were killed. Divine martial arts sets. They were useless. After killing these players, the sword auras continued to blast forward. Boom 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 boom. The sword auras gathered at the mountain protection formation, letting out deafening roars. His goal is to attack the mountain protection formation. Did he just casually kill a few thousand players? No, it doesn't matter if he's Huaxia's Mad God or not. If he attacks the mountain protection formation like this, it's not good for any of us. We have to stop him. If Firmament City doesn't have the mountain protection beast, then what's the point of being the city lord? Yes, even if he's a Huaxia player, now is not the time to distinguish between the Huaxia server and the other servers. Kill Mad God first. Since Mad God started attacking the mountain protection formation, the players had suddenly united. No matter if it was the Huaxia server or the other servers, they stopped their infighting and united against Mad God. Firmament City has just been conquered by the Asia server. This must not happen. Let's go. Let's see how strong he is by himself. Kill. Lu Chen frowned slightly. These players were actually quite united. From the moment he became a wild monster, Lu Chen knew that he would always be on the opposite side of the players. Lu Chen frowned slightly and shouted, "Clone." For these players, there was no need to use Ares' possession and transformation. There was also no need to spawn clones. 6 clones were enough. In an instant, 6 clones that looked exactly like Solipsistic appeared beside him. The 6 clones rushed toward the sea of players. Boom! 6 strikes landed on the ground. Under the terrifying split buff, a large number of players were killed or injured. The clones did not stop. In front of Lu Chen, they were like carts leading the way, moving forward against the sea of players. For the foreign server players who had not seen Mad God's strength, this siege was already a nightmare. Oh my god, what kind of insane damage is this? Is this a clone of that guy? Impossible. A clone can't be this strong. I can't even get close to him. This guy is definitely not a player. A player can't be this strong. My divine martial set was almost instantly killed. I don't believe it. What kind of equipment does that guy have? There were hundreds of millions of players. However, in the face of 6 clones, numbers were not an advantage at all. The surrounding corpses were already piled up like a mountain. However, Solipsistic's real body had not even made a move yet. Lu Chen could leave the killing of players to his clones. If there was anything that he was slightly worried about, it would be the mountain protection formation and the unknown mountain guardian beast. He tried using Great Ravager's sweep just now. The mountain protection formation could be broken in a short time. However, the Great Ravager's sweep, which was defined as an AoE attack, was still too slow. Lu Chen tried using Tiger's Roar as a normal attack. Hundreds of millions of players were unable to stop this boss from moving forward. Outside Firmament City, screams and screams could be heard everywhere. Is there no one strong enough to appear and stop that freak? At this moment, a player jumped in front of Lu Chen. This person had one hand on the hilt of the sword at his waist as he stared at Lu Chen. You're solipsistic. Very well, I'll use your blood as a sacrifice for my orange weapon Serpent Blade. Take note, my Serpent Blade is stronger than your divine martial spear. Lu Chen frowned slightly. Orange weapon Serpent Blade? What the hell? Why couldn't he hit it before? After all, there were too many fortuitous encounters in Jiutian. Lu Chen could not guarantee that he would encounter all of them. Young man, since you've gotten a decent orange weapon, cherish it. Don't come looking for trouble. Otherwise, you'll lose out if it drops, Lu Chen kindly reminded. Chapter 273. This player's ID was Shinzo Onichi. Lu Chen seemed to have heard of him before. He was quite famous in the kimono server, known as Shinzo Kenzo. Japanese swords were also called Japanese swords, so the division between swords and swords wasn't very clear. Shinzo Onichi pulled out his Yamato sword and twirled it a few times in his palm. The Orochi sword let out a series of buzzing sounds. Sorry, my fate with this sword is to defeat the strong. Orochi sword's secret technique, swallow reverse 100 blade slash. Shinzo Onichi suddenly flashed past Lu Chen's clones at a speed that was hard to catch with the naked eye, and arrived in front of Lu Chen's real body. The sword was like the wind, and the sword light was threatening. Damn, that's the strongest player in the kimono server, Shinzo Onichi. He actually closed in on Mad God. This skill is so strong. It has a displacement effect and such a terrifying attack skill. The sword is so fast, there's no time to dodge. That's the weapon's special effect, swallow reverse. Its specialty is its speed, accuracy, and ruthlessness. It can attack 56 times in a second. Of course, if one's agility is high enough, the number of attacks will increase. A kimono player introduced with pride. I think Mad God is just SOSO. If Shinzo gets close to him, there's no way he can survive. Shing 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 shing, Shinzo Onichi attacked with dozens of swords, and it was difficult to distinguish the real from the fake. -1811, -1732, -1813. Shinzo attacked 61 times in total. The total damage was 110,000. He hit Mad God. Wow, he took out more than 100,000 HP. Shinzo is indeed the strongest player in Yamato. Huaxia's players were now a little conflicted. They wanted Mad God to win, but they also didn't want him to win. No matter why Mad God became a demon, he was still a player from Huaxia. In a battle with Yamato players, Huaxia's players naturally wanted Huaxia's players to win. However, Mad God was now slaughtering players, so Huaxia's players didn't want him to win. It was too conflicted. After Shinzo Onichi finished his attack, he looked at Solipsistic in surprise. Everyone was surprised that he could hurt Solipsistic, but no one knew that Shinzo Onichi was more shocked than anyone else. One slash only dealt a little more than 1,000 damage. Are you kidding me? It's not. Lu Chen shook his head, I'm in a hurry. Saying that, Lu Chen didn't use any moves and just smashed down with his staff. The advantage of letting Shinzong get close was that it would be very difficult for Shinzong to dodge ordinary attacks in close combat. No way, this is Huaxia's strongest power. A Southeast Asian player said in disdain, look at how strong the secret manuals are. Look at the Solipsistic. Does he only know basic attacks? As expected, fame is greater than strength. I think he is definitely not a match for Shinzong. Our battle god has to be careful of Shinzong. Huaxia's players were really depressed. Solipsistic has no skills. How could this be? When the Gore Fiend invaded, Mad God had already single-handedly killed the two super bosses, White Tiger and Gore Fiend. However, in the face of Shinzong's amazing equipment effects, Mad God only retaliated with a single strike. In comparison, it was a bit lacking. It was an ordinary strike, with 3 consecutive strikes and 6 additional poisons. However, this time, the strike only dealt 2 damage. Why did only 2 damage figures appear? -84,418, double critical strike, -1. 0.2 million, poisoned. Shinzong was already dead after the 2 damage figures appeared. All the players who saw the battle were shocked and speechless. Occasionally, some of them dropped their weapons on the ground, making a sound. Hey, did I see wrongly just now? I think I saw a 7-digit number floating out. Someone's body didn't move as he asked his friend beside him in an erratic tone. Actually, I think I saw it too, but I don't think it's real. Maybe the damage figures were stacked up, making it look like a 7-digit number. But did you see Shinzong's health bar? I didn't see it. He's gone. As the number 1 player in the Yamato server, Shinzong's health bar was in the 6 digits, which was around 200,000. However, Mad God only dealt around 80,000 damage in the first attack, which was definitely not enough to kill Shinzong. Then, the question was, where did Shinzong's health bar go? The truth was coming to light. The players who were closer to Shinzong gradually showed a look of horror on their faces. It's millions of damage. My God, ah. Mad God, please be a human. Shinzong's appearance was just an interlude. Shinzong's various moves had shocked the players, but in the end, he was killed by Mad God's strike. These players were closer to Lu Chen. While he was in a daze, his clone came over. With one strike, several more pieces fell. Mad God glanced at Shinzong on the ground and was a little disappointed. Yamato is the strongest. Sigh, I'm a little disappointed. A feeling of loneliness hit him. Lu Chen silently bent down and touched the corpse of Shinzong. That orange weapon is not bad, but it's a pity that it didn't drop. If I hadn't prepared a skill, I would have really wanted to steal his yen bai to use. If he used it himself, the damage should be more than this. Even though Shinsang's death almost made many players collapse, it was only the players who were watching the battle nearby who were shocked. There were too many players around. Even though Lu Chen had his clone to clear the way, it was still a little slow to kill them. Lu Chen thought for a moment. Let's use an AoE attack. Nine-winged sky dragon. Mad God shouted. The nine-winged sky dragon, which was setting fire all over the battlefield, quickly rushed over. Mad God jumped up and stood on the dragon's head. Tiger's roar. All physical attacks were converted to spiritual attacks. Black level technique, spiritual sword rain. This was a black level technique. It was a scroll dropped when he fought Cenobus. However, Lu Chen rarely used AoE attacks recently. It was only now that he had the chance to use it. Black level technique, Manlua's heavenly certificate. This skill was Lu Yi's skill, which Lu Chen had stolen using the steel skill. It was also because the Devil's set had this skill that Lu Chen did not use reverse 100 blade slash. It should be known that Lu Chen's poison attack was now at millions. This skill was perfect for massacring a city. He would not give up this skill just for fun. Lu Chen used 2 AoE skills at the same time. In addition, the Wyvern's flame breath and the 6 clones on the ground attacked. In an instant, the entire Firmament City map turned into Azura Hell. Lu Chen did not hold back anymore. In an instant, he slaughtered millions of players. Is Solipsistic crazy? What the fuck, what kind of damage is this? Just a touch of a petal and you'll die. It's over. Solipsistic has completely demonized. He's going to slaughter the entire Firmament City. Screams and roars could be heard from the players below. Players from China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and other servers, regardless of whether they were strong players or solo players, could only struggle and escape from this indescribable and terrifying purgatory. Lu Chen looked at the corpses below and closed his eyes slightly. Taking a deep breath, Lu Chen opened his eyes again. His dark green eyes were emitting green flames. Is this a devil? I actually like this feeling. Chapter 274. Devil's Might of the Mortal Body. This quest was meant for Lu Chen to enter the devil's domain. Now, it seemed that Lu Chen had understood the quintessence of the quest. It's just entering the devil's domain. Nine-winged, kill. It was a one-sided massacre. Outside Firmament City, corpses were everywhere. The Mirror of Rebirth was right next to them, but the players did not dare to revive. Countless spiritual swords turned into rain in the sky, countless poisonous flower petals, and the nine-winged celestial dragon set fire everywhere. Anyone who revived would die. Some powerful experts could not escape death even with limited movement skills, not to mention that not everyone was a top professional player. There were only 2 safe places. One was to enter Firmament City's mountain protection formation, and the other was to escape to a further area. When facing a super boss like the Solipsistic, no matter which server the players were from, they all stopped fighting. A large number of players had filled the entire Firmament City's mountain protection formation. The city and the open space were all filled with people. People looked at the flying dragon soaring in the sky in horror. It's too scary. It's like the end of the world. Why would such a scary guy appear in the Huaxia server? Is he still human? Is he a player or a boss? Shizu Higichi took the opportunity to revive. After all, he was the strongest player in the Yamato server. However, he did not dare to go out now. I was careless just now. If we had gathered the strongest players in each server and challenged him together, we might have a chance. At this moment, a Yamato man beside Shizu shook his head. Shizu, it's impossible. That person is already above all the players. No. I hit him with 110,000 HP just now. That's about 1/5 of his HP. If dozens of people around my level attacked him together, we could kill him instantly. The mysterious man shook his head. Shizu, haven't you figured it out yet? He just wants to see your strength. If he uses all his strength, you won't even have a chance to get close. Also, did you see his clones? The damage of those clones is surprisingly high, and I noticed that the instant they kill players, they would often use a lot of debuffs, including stun. Stun. Clones can stun players. However, Shinsung hadn't noticed this. After all, many debuffs had only been applied to players for a brief moment before they died. In order to observe this detail, one would have to have amazing eyesight. The stun passive was one of the most powerful passive skills of any melee class. If even Mad God's doppelganger could stun him, that meant that even if Shinzong got close to him, as long as Mad God got serious, he would be the unlucky one. This guy. Shinzong was also the strongest player in the country, and he was also a super strong player who was worshipped by the Yamato players. However, when he faced Solipsistic, he suddenly felt powerless, which almost drove him crazy. Regardless of whether Shinsung was convinced or not, he could not beat Solipsistic now. Just now, someone had already attempted to use a mount to fly into the sky, but when the mount saw the 9-winged celestial dragon, it was so frightened that it didn't dare to move. That guy's mount was the king of mounts. No other mount dared to challenge its majesty. Compared to Solipsistic, Shinzong suddenly realized that he, the strongest player in the country, was on a completely different level. In the face of the three major AoE skills, the outside of Firmament City was already littered with corpses. After more than an hour, other than the inside of Firmament City's mountain protection formation, the entire map was only left with Lu Chen and the 9-winged celestial dragon. The 9-winged celestial dragon flew to a low altitude and finally landed. Lu Chen jumped down. At this time, there was only a layer of almost invisible air barrier between the countless players and Solipsistic. He won't come in, right? He doesn't seem to be a human player now. This formation is meant to stop him. He definitely can't enter, right? As this person spoke, when he saw the demons standing in front of them, his confidence disappeared. Should we go out and stop him? Stop my ass. Can't you see how much damage he does? There are so many of us, and we can't even beat him. That's too crazy. By the way, isn't there Nameless in your Huaxia server? Can he beat Mad God? A player who knew the inside story shook his head. Nameless is very strong, but he probably won't care. Nameless and Mad God are friends. If I'm not wrong, that mount might have been lent to Mad God by Nameless. Damn, no way. Solipsistic raised his head slightly and glanced at Firmament City's mountain protection formation. Yin Yang Black Tortoise Divine Armor Formation. Hearing this name, Lu Chen could guess who the two divine beasts of Firmament City were. The ultimate beast, Fuhai Wu, and the ultimate divine beast, Gilded Black Tortoise. The defensive power of the mountain protecting grand array formed by these two fellows was naturally no small matter. No wonder even the Bone King had no interest in Firmament City at all. I'd like to see if you're really that strong. Lu Chen snorted coldly, raised the wishful staff, and directly attacked the mountain protection formation. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone felt the ground shaking. They hurriedly looked at the mountain protection formation nervously. Yin Yang Black Tortoise Divine Armor Formation, 6-388/1-000-000-000. Durability, damn, this formation is so strong. Even Mad God knows how to deal more than 4,000 damage. 1 billion durability. Ha ha ha, we're safe. Finally, I can breathe a sigh of relief. I thought that guy was really going to massacre the city. Fortunately, there's the mountain protection formation. Outside the formation, Lu Chen frowned slightly. Just now, He had used all his spiritual power. Now that his spiritual power was over 2,000, a 3-hit combo should have dealt about 7,000 damage. However, in reality, it only dealt 6,388 damage. It could be inferred that the mountain protection formation's spiritual defense was very high. Sure enough, the formation only took spiritual attacks. The reason why Lu Qin used normal attacks first was to see if his poison attack had any effect. Now, it seemed that his 1 billion poison attack was ineffective against the mountain protection formation. It's a little suspicious. If it works, the battle should be much faster. Lu Qin shook his head. Since it only took spiritual attacks, he could only use Tiger Roar to divert it. Tiger Roar. Rain of Spiritual Swords. Man's Sky Certificate was a poison attack. Lu Qin could only store it 3 times. This time, he didn't use it. The majestic rain of swords fell, and the damage directly flooded the screen. The damage was calculated every 0.5 seconds, and each time, the damage was more than 520,000. Of course, the attack of each sword couldn't be so high. Coupled with the spiritual defense of the mountain protection formation, each sword could only deal a few hundred damage or even less. However, although the damage was low, it couldn't be compared to the large area attack, and it was a continuous attack. The players, who were just rejoicing that they were safe, were completely dumbfounded now. Damn, 520,000 damage. Don't be afraid. Rain of Spiritual Swords must consume a lot of pure spiritual energy. He can't keep using this skill. That's right. Look, he seems to be drinking potions. Wait, he's drinking a grade 1 spirit gathering pill. It can't be. Isn't that something that occasionally drops from the merchants? It's too expensive. We can't afford it. Lu Qin shook his head. He couldn't use gold coins at all. During the time he was in seclusion, he had already accumulated hundreds of thousands of gold coins. Today, when facing so many players, Lu Qin had also prepared over 10,000 bottles of grade 1 spirit gathering pills. In short, it was enough for him to squander. After recovering his spiritual energy, Lu Qin's mouth stiffened. Let's get to work. Rain of Spiritual Swords. Great Ravager Sweep. Boom, 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 boom. The mountain protection formation was being fiercely attacked. The hearts of countless players thundered as they were hit again and again. The mysterious man beside Shinzong took a deep breath and said faintly, "This guy is too strong. Breaking the formation is only a matter of time. Now, only a divine beast can stop him." Chapter 275. Inside the huge air barrier, billions of players were holed up. Outside the air barrier, demons were attacking crazily. The durability of the mountain protection formation was decreasing rapidly. In just 10 minutes, it had already decreased by 1/5. Please, Mountain Guardian Divine Beast, come out. If you don't come out, we will all be killed by this lunatic. This guy has already turned himself into a boss. Huaxia server is too scary. I want to go back to you server. Boom, 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 boom. The deafening sound hit the players' hearts again and again. After an hour, the durability of the mountain protection formation was left with a pitiful 1/10. 1 billion spiritual damage. Do you still have any points left? He's eating the spirit gathering pills like they are jelly beans. He hasn't stopped at all. While they were talking, they suddenly heard 2 long and drawn-out growls. This time, it was different from the previous loud noise. This sound came from behind them, Firmament City. It's the Divine Beast. The Mountain Guardian Divine Beast has come out. Haha, this is great. The Mountain Guardian Divine Beast has come out. And there are 2 of them. Not 2. Look at the sky. Everyone hurriedly looked in the direction of the sky. In the sky, a fiery red figure was flying rapidly toward them. It's the Phoenix. Damn, Firmament City has 3 divine beasts. Ha 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 ha, even the nameless 9-winged celestial dragon won't be able to suppress the phoenix in terms of bloodline. Lu Chen also heard the sharp cry in the sky. He looked back and saw the figure in the sky. However, to everyone's surprise, when the demon heard that there were 3 divine beasts in Firmament City, he did not panic at all. Instead, he was so excited that he was dancing. His image as a champion was gone. Damn, it's the blazing vermilion bird. Ha ha ha, this is great, this is great. It was no wonder that Lu Chen was so excited. The 3 main dungeons were only missing the last step of the city massacre. As for the 4 beasts and 4 gods, only the blazing vermilion bird, the gilded black tortoise, and the ocean overlord were left. Now that they had all appeared, it meant that all the steps required for the divine blood demonic seed quest had been completed. Along the way, every mythological beast and every instance dungeon's difficulty was beyond Lu Chen's imagination. He himself felt that it would take a long time before he could complete this super abnormal quest. In the end, a mission suddenly appeared in front of him. Not to mention dancing with joy, Lu Chen was so excited that he almost cried. Fuck, finally. It had finally appeared. It's not easy. After being moved by his own actions for a moment, Lu Chen looked at the sky again and discovered that the vermilion bird was rushing towards them. In addition, 2 huge creatures rose up from Firmament City and flew over. Not long after, the 3 mythological beasts gathered and glared at Lu Chen and the 9-winged celestial dragon. The 9-winged celestial dragon was no longer as calm as before. In the face of such a powerful enemy, it was also staring at its opponent. Lu Chen shook his head. 9-winged, you're just a mount after all. I'll handle this battle myself. Come back first. Roar. 9-winged seemed to be very dissatisfied with Lu Chen's belittling of it and growled at Lu Chen. Lu Chen turned around and glared at 9-winged. Stop fooling around. Seeing that Lu Chen had given a death order, 9-winged had no choice but to behave and obediently return to the beast pen. The players did not dare to go out now for fear of being accidentally killed by this godlike battle. They all hid in the mountain shielding formation that only had 1/10 of its durability left. The mythological beasts should be able to protect Firmament City, right? This is our last hope. Kill Mad God, kill him. There should be no problem. The remnant souls of the mythological beasts in Firmament City are definitely stronger than those on the Celestial Mountain. Look, they actually have a division of labor. 2 black tortoises that are good at close-range defense and 1 vermilion bird that's good at attacking. It's unbeatable. The black tortoise's attack should be very strong too. Nonsense, of course it's strong. Otherwise, how could it be a mythological beast? We must kill that demon. Outside the mountain shielding formation, 1 demon against 3 mythological beasts. Lu Chen knew that although they were all remnant souls, due to the different proportion of remnant souls, there were also differences in strength between the mythological beasts' remnant souls. The remnant souls of the mythological beasts that could protect Firmament City were definitely stronger than the Aurora White Tiger, not to mention that he was now fighting 1 against 3. Unfortunately, the current Lu Chen was not afraid of them at all. Divine Martial Possession. Demon Transformation. Solipsistic, who was already in his demon form, suddenly grew to a height of 5 to 6 meters. At the same time, a huge god of war virtual image appeared behind him, both for protection and battle enhancement. Doppelganger. Demon King will refresh. Doppelganger. Blood Sacrifice Shield. Lu Chen directly summoned 12 doppelgangers. In an instant, he, who was at a disadvantage, suddenly had the advantage in numbers. A large number of spikes suddenly appeared on the gilded black tortoise's shell. It was obvious that it was a damage reflection effect. The sea-flipping martial monarch spat out a large amount of seawater, forming hundreds of streams of water in front of the 3 mythological beasts, dancing around them. The blazing vermilion bird let out a phoenix cry, and the flames on its body burned brighter than before. Lu Chen smiled slightly. Hee hee, sorry, I have the eye of the gods, I'm not afraid of damage reflection. Kill them. Just as Lu Chen's voice fell, the two black tortoises let out a low roar at the same time, and the 12 doppelgangers appeared with the taunt status. They actually have a taunt skill, looks like the two black tortoises are meat shields. With the doppelgangers under taunt, Lu Chen could not pull them away, and they forcefully attacked the two black tortoises. With 6 doppelgangers against 1, the group of doppelgangers did not care about damage reflection or water flow, and went up to attack. The black tortoise's defense was extremely high. If the doppelgangers could not deal a critical hit, they could only deal about 8,000 damage, and the poison damage could deal about 21,000 damage. Damn, their physical defense is so high. I have almost 40,000 physical damage, and with a 20% discount, it should be about 30,000 damage, but it resisted by 20,000 damage. Lu Chen could not help but admire the black tortoise's abnormal defense. Other than high defense, the two black tortoises' HP was also very shocking, reaching 200 million. One must know that the durability of a Tier 5 mountain protection array was only 1 billion, and a black tortoise's HP could reach 200 million, which was already very scary. In addition, the gilded black tortoise's damage reflection was very effective against the doppelgangers. The doppelgangers' HP dropped very quickly, and it looked like they could not last more than 10 seconds. The Sea Overlord's water ring was even more abnormal. Not only did it have spiritual damage, but it also had healing effects. Every time the water ring touched their bodies, it could heal 1000 HP. The 3 divine beasts were surrounded by 200 water rings, which meant that they could recover about 200,000 HP per second. Super high defense and HP, super high damage reflection, super high healing, these two black tortoises could be said to be the strongest divine beast remnant Lu Chen had ever encountered. Moreover, there was the blazing vermilion bird beside them. Not long after, the 6 doppelgangers that surrounded the gilded black tortoise were directly killed by their own damage reflection. The gilded black tortoise used taunt again and pulled the other 6 doppelgangers away from the Sea Overlord, and they also died not long after. The 2 black tortoises' HP was around 4 million, and they were quickly healed by the water rings. The 3 divine beasts were full of health, and they had eliminated 12 of Mad God's doppelgangers. Seeing this scene, the players were excited. Wow, our divine beasts are too strong. Cool, this solipsistic can't be arrogant anymore. Kill that demon, he's not a player anymore. Kill him. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. The last 3 divine beasts were really strong. It seems that I have to do it myself. Lu Chen held the wishful staff in one hand and the devil's blade in the other. I have to find a way to kill one of the 2 tortoises. It's best to kill the Sea Overlord first, but both of them have taunt, and they can cooperate with Xiang Hui. It's a little troublesome. Damn it, I actually want to kill a guy with 200 million HP. Lu Chen felt that he was a little crazy. Whatever, I'll give it a try. Earth-splitting chasm. Mad God's real body finally made a move. Chapter 276. The angle of Earth Chasm was extremely tricky. Unfortunately, the casting time was too long. Blazing Vermilion Bird took the opportunity to dodge and only stunned 2 black tortoises. However, this was enough. Lu Chen's target was the Sea-Flipping Emperor, who could heal. Quick movement. Lu Chen instantly appeared in front of the Sea-Flipping Black Tortoise. Tiger descends the mountain. 156,800, triple critical hit, -1. 0.21 million, poisoned, -1. 0.21 million, poisoned, 28774, poisoned, -1. 0.21 million, poisoned, -1. 0.21 million, poisoned, even though the sea-flipping black tortoise's physical defense was frighteningly high, and Lu Chen could only deal 28,000 damage with normal attacks, a triple critical hit could deal 150,000 plus damage. However, this was not the most frightening part. Mad God's attack made all the spectating players collapse. What? 1 million poison damage. Are you kidding me? Damn, Mad God's attack is over 1 million. What 1 million? It's 10 million. I've already studied Mad God and Nameless attacks. They both have triple critical hit skills. With Tiger Descends the Mountain, they can deal 6-stage normal attack damage. Moreover, each attack has 2 types of poison. One is the 7-step poison, and the other is the 7-step poison, which increases damage by 15%. An unknown data emperor analyzed Mad God's damage on the spot. In addition to the high critical hit probability and critical hit damage bonus, as well as the continuous damage from being poisoned, Mad God's attack dealt 20 million damage. The total damage should be 34 million. Several players nearby immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. 34 million? Damn, doesn't that mean he can insta-kill many bosses? Holy shit, Yamato's Divine Treasure Unification dealt over 100,000 damage, and that was already shocking enough. Now, look at how Mad God dealt 340 Divine Treasures. Where in the world did he get all these equipment and skills? This is too overpowered. We're all level 50, and our damage is only in the tens of thousands. He can deal 34 million damage. In reality, Lu Chen's damage wasn't that high. However, he had to thank Lu Yi for refining him, which allowed him to retain the poison that was specifically used to deal with Lu Yi. That was why he was able to deal such heaven-defying damage. Previously, Mad God's doppelganger did not inherit the poison extraction weapon's special effect, so it could not deal 1 million poison damage. However, Mad God's doppelganger was different. The black tortoise with 200 million HP instantly lost a large chunk of its HP. After all, mythological beasts were mythological beasts. The dizziness from the earth-splitting chasm lasted for less than a second before the 2 turtles woke up. You actually woke up so quickly. Lu Chen immediately activated his skill, Monkey King's Reverse Blood. Another second. This time, Lu Chen didn't use the Flaming Sword's Ignite effect because he knew that his strongest damage output right now was Poison Attack, and Poison Attack had to rely on normal attacks to be effective. Making use of the stun time to quickly deal as many basic attacks as possible was the way to go. Rapid Onslaught. This was the special effect of the Bone King's Assault Ring. Lu Chen used it for the first time. Increased attack speed by 200%, and all attacks would only deal the highest damage for 30 seconds. Cooldown time was 300 minutes. A 200% increase meant 3 times the attack speed. Fierce Tiger Descends the Mountain could actually be regarded as twice the attack speed, and Technique Onslaught directly tripled the attack speed, which was 50% higher than Fierce Tiger Descends the Mountain. Suddenly, Lu Chen's attack speed suddenly increased. Each of Lu Chen's normal attacks was a triple hit plus 6 times of poison damage, a total of 9 segments of damage. Under the triple attack speed, it seemed to have become 27 segments of damage. The Devil's Blade and Wishful Staff slashed madly on the Sea Cover Emperor's body. Their attack speed was like that of a demon. Ah! Kill! Lu Chen's pair of green eyes glowed, and the muscles all over his body seemed to explode. The Sea Cover Emperor's HP bar was decreasing at an incredible speed. Those who didn't know would never believe that it was 200 million HP. Not only was the HP bar decreasing quickly, but as Lu Chen's attack speed increased, it was easier for him to deal passive attacks. Stun, silence, slow, poison, stun. The Sea Cover Emperor could no longer move. Fuck. Mad God has gone crazy. Did you see the Sea Cover Emperor's status? The negative status has never stopped. What the hell is this attack speed? I feel like the sea cover emperor can't block the crazy mad god at all. Scary, too scary. How can there be such a perverted guy? Mad God has really turned into a demon. During the 1 second of stun time, Lu Chen had dealt tons of damage. However, in the end, he still couldn't kill the sea cover emperor. Now, although the sea cover emperor was stunned, the gilded black tortoise behind him was about to wake up. At the same time, the blazing vermilion bird was rushing over. At the same time, flames appeared in the vermilion bird's mouth, as if it was preparing some skill. In less than a second, the gilded black tortoise woke up. The blazing vermilion bird opened its beak and spat out lava. Fuck, other people were spitting fire, but this guy was spitting out lava. The dark eye of the gods had already predicted the location of the Earth's core lava. Lu Chen also knew very well that the first thing the gilded black tortoise would do when it woke up would be to use taunt. The sea cover emperor still had 3/5 of his HP left. Now that he was stunned, Lu Chen had reason to believe that this guy definitely had more than one water ring skill. Maybe as soon as he left, he would use Great Heal to recover his HP. In this kind of team battle, the healer must be killed first. If he wanted to kill it, he couldn't move. Once he moved, all his efforts would be in vain. Lu Chen's nostrils flared. While attacking the sea cover emperor, he focused all his attention on the gilded black tortoise. That guy had already woken up. It glanced at the little demon that was attacking its companion and was about to roar, now. Lu Chen had seen it before. This roar was the sign of the taunt skill. Devil's Pardon. Devil's Pardon was the special effect of the Devil set. It could nullify the opponent's skill once. The prerequisite was that the skill's level was not higher than medium mystic. Moreover, the timing had to be calculated and used when the opponent was preparing to use the skill. Roar was actually a low-level skill. The difficult part was that Roar was an almost instantaneous skill. To capture the moment of the skill's movement, the timing had to be accurate to the millimeter. Just before the gilded black tortoise used Roar, Lu Chen used Devil's Pardon. The gilded black tortoise raised its head, but did not make a sound. Success. Lu Chen's eyes showed a hint of joy. See cover, it seems that your companion can't save you. The gilded black tortoise did not use taunt, but the lava in the sky was already shooting towards Lu Chen. 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. The single damage was unexpectedly low, but the damage was constantly increasing. Lu Chen looked at his status. He was not affected by the debuff at all. It was only when Lu Chen realized that his feet were covered in lava that he understood how powerful this skill was. As long as he stood in the lava, his health would continue to drop. Fuck. The sea cover emperor was surrounded by lava. If Lu Chen wanted to attack the sea cover emperor, he had to stand in the lava. The blazing vermilion bird was still spewing lava. It was unknown how its stomach could contain so much lava. The gilded black tortoise could not use taunt, but it still charged towards Lu Chen. 30,000, 30,000, 21,166. The mad god's health began to drop rapidly. Seeing this, the players finally let out a sigh of relief. Especially the foreign server players, they were so excited that they forgot themselves. Ha ha ha, the solipsistic is going to die. No matter how invincible he is, he can't fight 3 divine beasts alone. With 3 divine beasts working together, the mad god is no match for them. You want to massacre the city? Come on in and hit us. Chapter 277. Lu Chen, who had been stabbed in the back, was finally angry. Damn it, overturn the Sea Emperor, I'll say it now, no one can save you. Attack. Continue to attack. Rapid and fierce attack. Crazy attack. At that moment, those players who were still complacent suddenly lost their composure after seeing Mad God's health bar. Mad God's health bar was jumping back and forth at an extremely fast speed. If there were no critical hits, Mad God's health bar would be in a downward trend, but the frequent critical hits would forcefully pull his health bar back up. Especially when it was a triple critical hit, the HP bar would increase by a large amount. The health bar and health bar almost reached a balance. Two divine beasts can't beat him. How is that possible? Damn, it's lifesteal. Damn it, what kind of lifesteal can be so strong? The lifesteal ratio is not very high, but the key is that Solipsistic's attack speed is too fast. Look at his health bar, how fast is his health bar recovering? Not only is his attack speed fast, but his critical hits are also very high. One critical hit can recover a lot of health bar. Damn, taking on two divine beasts head-on, isn't this guy a bit too sick? With Lu Chen's character, if he had a choice, he would not put himself in such a situation. However, facing three divine beasts with tacit understanding, he must first kill the Overturn the Sea Emperor who was healing him. As the clone was killed by reflect damage, and Lu Chen had also used Lu Chen's respawn, now Lu Chen lacked skills. Once he missed this opportunity, his situation would only be more passive. This time, Lu Chen was going to take on the attacks of two divine beasts head-on and kill the Overturn the Sea Emperor. 30 seconds of rapid and fierce attack was enough time. Lu Chen attacked with all his might, and finally, the Overturn the Sea Emperor's health bar was empty. At that moment, all the water rings around the Overturn the Sea Emperor rushed toward the Overturn the Sea Emperor, and his health bar instantly recovered by 50%. The Overturn the Sea Emperor was stunned, but the water rings could still move. Is this your last resort? Lu Chen snorted coldly. Even if I give you another life, I'll still kill you. 100 million HP was not enough to last long in front of Lu Chen's frenzied attack speed. Not long after, the sea-flipping Emperor's gigantic body collapsed to the ground with a loud crash. Quick movement. The moment the ocean cover Martial Emperor fell, Lu Chen hastily withdrew from the attack range of the remaining two mythological beasts. Without lifesteal, how could he take it when he was stabbed in the ass like this? Killed Fu Hai Martial Emperor's remnant soul, Firmament City's mountain guardian beast. Obtained 20 million heaven and earth sling energy. Obtained 5 rank 9 talent fragment. Obtained 5 evolution points from 9 stars. Obtained 26 pure ling energy. Ding. Obtained Martial Emperor Fu Hai's summoning stone, optional. Obtained rank for Soul Source Core X1. Obtained Soul Source Fragments X80. Obtained Supreme Grade Spirit Gathering Pills X25. Obtained Magic Weapon, Spring Water, Orange Magic Weapon. The sea-toppling Martial Emperor was indeed stronger than the previous divine beasts. The Spirit Source Core it dropped was a Tier 4 one, and the Magic Treasure it dropped was an orange one. The moment Martial Emperor Ocean Cover collapsed, the players who were lucky enough to survive within the Great Mountain Protection Formation turned pale. Motherfucker, he really killed it. Last time, Mad God killed White Tiger and Blood Demon. This time, he directly faced two divine beasts and killed the sea-toppling Martial Emperor. He really faced it head-on, he really is a demon. Wait, maybe we still have hope. Did you guys forget? The Gilded Black Tortoise has a reflect damage, and the reflect damage ratio is very high. Solipsistic's clone was killed by the reflect damage. He might not be able to kill it. After killing the sea-toppling Martial Emperor, Lu Chen raised his head to look at the remaining two divine beasts. He finally had a chance to catch his breath. You two were having fun fighting just now, right? The demon gave an evil smile. Okay, now it's my turn. Clone. Lu Chen thought for a bit and summoned 9-winged Sky Dragon. 9-winged, didn't you want to fight just now? You and your clone deal with that fire chicken. 9-winged was stunned. Fire chicken. Blazing vermilion bird. The demon smiled and shook his head. As expected, a mount's AI was not as good as a pet. If Xiao Min or the other divine beasts had cubs, they would definitely know. Roar. 9-winged roared at the blazing vermilion bird. In terms of bloodline level, Nine-Winged Sky Dragon was not weaker than the Vermilion Bird. Since their bloodline levels were similar, Nine-Winged was naturally not afraid. With the previous example, this time, Lu Chen directly sent his clone to find the Vermilion Bird, while he dealt with the Gilded Black Tortoise. The Gilded Black Tortoise's reflect damage was completely ineffective against Lu Chen. Lu Chen went up like a fierce tiger coming down the mountain. On the other side, a group of clones spread their wings and flew into the sky. Nine-Winged Sky Dragon. Nobody knew when it started, but the Korean server's #1 elite, Tai Chi Dragon King, U server's #1 elite, Jia Ba, Yamagata server Shinzo, and so on had gathered together. Solipsistic is too arrogant. He actually went to kill the Gilded Black Tortoise himself. That's definitely a stupid decision, Jia Ba said. That's right. He should have used his clones to exhaust the Vermilion Bird and kill it first. That's the best choice. Tai Chi Dragon King narrowed his eyes and said, looks like that guy was just lucky to have obtained such powerful equipment. His actual combat ability is just average. At this time, Shinzo Gi did not say anything. He stared blankly at the demon that was charging at the Gilded Black Tortoise and fell into deep thought. Shinzo Gi sighed. He was not interested in Jia Ba's speculation. As the only person who had fought Mad God, he believed that the man who stood at the top would not be so stupid as to not see the Gilded Black Tortoise's high reflect damage. If Mad God was really killed by the reflect damage, then he did not deserve the title of the strongest in Huaxia server, nor did he deserve to defeat him. Originally, he had always wanted to join the Asia server. He was confident that he would still have an advantage in front of the strongest players from the other servers. To him, joining the Asia server would be a bigger stage for him to show his strength and charm. However, things seemed to be different from what he had imagined. The strongest players from the other servers could only hide in the mountain protection formation. The strongest in Huaxia server had crushed the entire Asia server, including all of them. At this time, there was only one question in Shinzo's mind. Was solipsistic the limit of Jotian's strength? After killing Emperor Fuhai, his clone and Nine-Winged were also holding back the Vermilion Bird. Lu Chen had no pressure fighting Gilded Black Tortoise alone. Its attack was not high and it only relied on its reflect damage. Coincidentally, Lu Chen was immune to reflect damage. Rapid Onslaught was on cooldown, so Lu Chen was not in a hurry. He directly faced Gilded Black Tortoise. That's not right. Why isn't solipsistic damaged by reflect damage? Someone immediately realized that something was wrong. What's with all the immune on his head? Maybe it's reflect damage. Fuck, solipsistic is immune to reflect damage. I was wondering why he would kill Gilded Black Tortoise by himself. This is too much. I just want to ask, does this guy have any weaknesses? Did Tianqing give some special benefits to the Huaxia server? Otherwise, why would such a monster appear? Look at the sky, Vermilion Bird can't defeat solipsistic's clone and Nine-Winged. At this time, one of the players suddenly screamed. Oh no! Doesn't that mean we're going to die soon? Chapter 278. Fighting the Gilded Black Tortoise was not dangerous, but it was time-consuming. The Gilded Black Tortoise's stun resistance was very high. When Lu Chen fought it alone, he could not stun it infinitely. It had a few defensive skills. Moreover, after the demon pardon ended, the Gilded Black Tortoise would roar, increasing all of its defense and its health recovery speed. 10 minutes later, Lu Chen sent out the second batch of doppelgangers to kill the Vermilion Bird. After a few more minutes, he still had not killed the Gilded Black Tortoise. Killed Blazing Vermilion Bird Remnant Soul, Firmament City's Mountain Guardian Beast. Obtained 20 million World Aura. Obtained 5 Grade 9 Talent Fragments. Obtained 5 Evolution Points. Obtained 26 Pure Aura. Ding! Obtained, Blazing Vermilion Bird Summoning Stone, optional, obtained rank for Soul Source Core X1, obtained Soul Source Fragments X80, obtained Supreme Grade Spirit Gathering Pills X25, obtained Magic Weapon, Core, Orange Magic Weapon. Damn. It's all over. Lu Chen looked at the sky in shock. As expected, the vermilion bird had already fallen from the sky. That fellow's attack should be very strong, but it was afraid of close combat. Otherwise, it would not have followed the two turtles. Now that its bodyguard was gone and it was surrounded by 6 doppelgangers and a 9-winged sky dragon, it must be very uncomfortable. It was reasonable for it to be killed. I don't have any face. The doppelgangers were dealt with, but I still haven't. However, in the eyes of the other players, Lu Chen's loss of face almost caused them to collapse. Damn, are the doppelgangers that strong? Previously, the doppelgangers encountered the gilded black tortoise and were quickly killed. No one realized how strong Lu Chen's doppelgangers were. But now, he only relied on a few doppelgangers and a mount to kill a divine beast remnant soul. This blow was even greater than Mad Beast personally taking action. Doesn't that mean that Solipsistic can use his doppelgangers to clear dungeons? The vermilion bird is also dead. This time, it's really over. The gilded black tortoise was being beaten most of the time. It was impossible for it to make a comeback. Sure enough, a few minutes later, the gilded black tortoise's huge body fell to the ground. The light on its shell also lost its color. The third divine beast had died. Killed golden black tortoise remnant soul, Firmament City's mountain guardian beast. Obtained 20 million heaven and earth sling energy. Obtained 5 9th order talent fragments. Obtained 5 9-star evolution points. Obtained 26 pure ling energy. Ding. Obtained gilded black tortoise summoning stone, optional, obtained rank for Soul Source Core X1, obtained Soul Source Fragments X80, obtained Supreme Spirit Gathering Pills X25, obtained Magic Weapon, Iron Wall Fortress, Orange Magic Weapon. The corpses of the 3 guardian beasts gradually turned into specks of light and dissipated in the air. The players looked at the beautiful light spots. It was poignant and dreamy, however, after the beauty came a nightmare. Ha 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 ha. Mad God's laughter was so wild that it was almost crazy. It's finally done. I've finally completed it. Lu Chen was extremely excited. He had obtained all 8 divine beasts from the Demonic Seed Divine Blood mission. The other mission options were all green, indicating that they had been completed. The only mission that had not been completed was the Demonic Might of the Mortal Body, in the Arcosios Sanctuary dungeon. At this moment, there was only a layer of Firmament City's mountain protecting grand array that only had a sliver of durability left. At this moment, no one could stop Lu Chen anymore. Boom! 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 With a few loud sounds, the mountain protecting grand array was shattered by the terrifying demon in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Solipsistic was still standing not far away. However, there were no longer any obstacles between him and the players and Firmament City. Tiger's Roar. Once they heard the name of this skill, the players understood that it was time for Mad God to start his massacre. Spiritual Sword Rain, Man Luo's Heavenly Certificate, Great Ravager Sweep, 9 Wings Flame Breath. Lone Tyrant Mighty was like a wild beast that had fallen into madness, crazily slaughtering the remaining players. Help! It's too scary. No one can stop him anymore. He has already gone mad. Has he really gone mad? Oh my God, there are corpses everywhere. It's too scary. The massacre of a city was so dark that there was no daylight. From the outside of the city to the inside of Firmament City, a dark green figure had unlimited skills and was crazily slaughtering. Not a single player or NPC was left alive. The number of players that were killed could not be counted. After being killed, the players did not dare to revive. If they revived at this moment, they could only wait for their equipment to drop. Everyone flocked to the live stream and continued to watch the massacre. That guy is too scary. He's not human at all. Is he a player or not? Is this the strength that a human should have? I suspect that he's already invincible. I've said it before. As long as Nameless doesn't appear, Mad God is invincible. Unless Brother Nameless makes a move, no one can stop this guy. Why is he massacring the city? I just remembered that Mad God posted a post before, telling us not to come online when the server opened because he wanted to do a quest. Sigh, at that time, we didn't take it seriously. This means that Mad God still doesn't want to start a massacre. It's just that we didn't listen to his advice. Previous poster, stop brainwashing. Is he going to massacre all the players for his own quest? Everyone, remember this. Solipsistic has already gone mad. From now on, I will only recognize Nameless as the war god. Speaking of which, what kind of quest would actually require him to massacre the entire Firmament City? I suddenly understand where he got those OP equipment from. Are all his quests so OP? 2 hours. A few hours ago, Firmament City was still crowded with people, but now, it had become a dead city. From the quest prompt, there was only one player in the city. Lu Chen recognized this player. Corpses were piled up like mountains in Firmament City. On top of the city gate, Solipsistic narrowed his eyes and looked at the woman in front of him. Fenglingzi. From the beginning until now, she had been live streaming at the city gate, but she had never interacted with her fans. Until now, Fenglingzi looked at the monster standing in front of her without panic or fear, but her eyes were red. The wind lifted Fenglingzi's long hair. She lowered her head and closed the live stream. Then, a pair of starry eyes stared at Lu Chen. Mad God, is it really you? I don't believe it's you. At this moment, Lu Chen actually didn't make a move. His heart skipped a beat. Speaking of which, Fenglingzi was the first friend Lu Chen added in the game. When Nameless was in the limelight, Fenglingzi had met Nameless once. She asked Nameless to pass a message to Mad God, saying that she was very worried about him. In Fenglingzi's live streams, she always mentioned Solipsistic's name. Every time she mentioned Mad God, she was very proud that she was his friend. In Fenglingzi's heart, the devil in front of her was definitely not Mad God. Lu Chen took a deep breath. He seemed to have hurt a girl's heart. The message you asked Nameless to pass to me. I received it, Lu Chen said. Lone Tyrant's words shattered Wind Chime's final illusion. This demon that killed without blinking was none other than Lone Tyrant. Why did you massacre the city? Fenglingzi's eyes were filled with tears as she looked at Lu Chen stubbornly. Quest. Quest? You're not lying to me. What kind of quest would require a player to massacre the entire Firmament City? Fenglingzi was a little angry. She didn't believe that such a quest existed. Lu Chen didn't want to hurt this kind girl anymore. He sighed and said, a legendary hidden quest. A legendary hidden quest? Fenglingzi was stunned. There weren't many hidden quests in Jiutian, let alone a legendary hidden quest. Among all the known quests, the highest level was only a purple quest. It couldn't even be considered an epic quest, let alone a legendary hidden quest. Yes, a legendary hidden quest. The following side quests are all epic quests. For this quest, I need to become a demon and massacre the entire city. Hearing Solipsistic's words, Fenglingzi finally felt better. Lu Chen sighed. Go. Tell your fans that for the next 3 days, no one is allowed to enter Firmament City. Violators will be killed without mercy. Chapter 279. Nine-Winged Sky Dragon. Lu Chen summoned the Nine-Winged Sky Dragon. Lu Chen supported Winchim and walked behind the Jiutian while he returned to the city gate. Riding on this legendary mount, Winchim felt like she was in a dream. She looked back. After a few hours of battle, the sky had darkened. The full moon hung high in the sky as if it was hanging in the sky above Firmament City. Under the eaves, a lonely figure sat on the eaves of the city gate. The moonlight shone on his quiet face, his body, and the terrifying wings on his back. He was a demon, but he did not look like one. Winchim sighed. If possible, she wanted to accompany him more. Mad God was different from Nameless. Nameless was surrounded by thousands of fans every time he appeared, but Mad God was always like a shadow, strong but lonely. Lu Chen did not know that Winchim was thinking so much. In fact, he was just a little tired and sat down to rest. Hee, all the quests are done. All that's left is to guard this city. Now, Lu Chen could finally look forward to the rewards of this legendary hidden quest. Godly Blood Demon Seed. What the hell is this? Winchim then conveyed Solipsistic's warning in the live stream. For 3 days, no player is allowed to enter Firmament City. Violators will be killed without mercy. Fuck, this is too overbearing. No one can enter Firmament City for 3 days. Why? Firmament City doesn't belong to him. Is no one from Tianqing going to come out and take care of this? How can we play if we can't return to the city to resupply? Then who does Firmament City belong to? Solipsistic. The next day, the Asia server's official website continued to boil. Many players even organized to stop the protests outside Firmament City. Return Firmament City to me. Kill Mad Demon. Now, players no longer called Lu Chen Mad God. They called him Mad Demon. I'd rather die standing than live kneeling. Everyone, let's work together to defeat Mad Demon. Top players from various countries are already organizing a counterattack, vowing to take back Firmament City. Lu Chen leaned on the roof and glanced at the protesting players. No matter how much they protested or shouted, they didn't dare to approach Firmament City. That afternoon, the chairman of several guilds finally showed up. They stood outside Firmament City and shouted at Lu Chen. Solipsistic, we're in an alliance. Can I talk to you? That's right. Breaking through the heavenly tower consumes a lot of resources. We need to replenish our supplies. Lu Chen glanced at those people, ignored them, and continued to rest. The chairman of the Common Guild Alliance was furious. Mad Demon, you can't keep locking down Firmament City. As he spoke, he walked towards Firmament City. Lu Chen squinted his eyes and stood up. A gigantic ravager swept across the ground and smashed into the man's feet. The chairman of the Common Guild Alliance broke out in cold sweat. If he took another step forward, Mad Demon might really kill him. He flew into a rage out of humiliation and shouted at Lu Chen, Mad Demon, you're an enemy of all players. No one can be an enemy of everyone. If you're still so stubborn, we'll get rid of you sooner or later. Lu Chen finally moved. He slowly stood up and looked down at the crowd. Do you think I'm afraid of being an enemy of everyone? Sorry, I don't care at all. That was my last warning. I'll say it for the last time. In Firmament City, other than me, there's no living thing. Whoever wants to challenge my bottom line is welcome to try. When the crowd heard this, their faces turned pale. This Mad Demon was really crazy. He didn't put anyone in his eyes. He even dared to kill the chairman of the Common Guild Alliance. Who would dare to approach him? Mortal Body Magic Might's mission requirement was to massacre the entire city. However, he also needed to ensure that after the massacre, there would be no survivors for 3 days. Lu Chen wouldn't allow anyone to disrupt his plan. On the 3rd day, the number of protests decreased. In the face of Solipsistic's tough attitude, the players were helpless. Fortunately, Solipsistic had said that he only needed 3 days. Now that 2 days had passed, the Mad Demon would leave after 1 more day. On the 4th day, at 7:30 p.m., it had been 3 days since Lu Chen massacred the entire city. In the other servers, the battle for Firmament City and Desert City had ended long ago. All the main cities welcomed new players, except for the Asia server. Currently, Firmament City in the Asia server was still occupied by Solipsistic alone. Lu Chen waited there for 3 whole days. From time to time, he would check on the progress of his mission. 10 minutes later, he finally received a system notification. Congratulations, you have completed the Immortal Body Magic Might mission. Magic Might has been activated for you. Magic Might, increase level limit by 10%. Damn, it's done. Lu Chen, who hadn't had a good rest for 3 days, finally let out a long sigh of relief. Great, it's also increased level limit by 10%. That means I can increase my level limit by 20%. Before he could be happy, the system immediately sent another notification. Ding, congratulations, you have completed the legendary hidden mission, Divine Blood Demon Seed. Collect the 4 ultimate beasts, Black Rock Dragon Emperor, Purple Flame Phoenix, Sky Devouring Demonic Tiger, Ocean Overlord. Mission progress, 4/4, collect the 4 ultimate beasts, Azure Dragon, Foodie Vermilion Bird, Aurora White Tiger, Gilded Black Tortoise. Mission progress, 4/4, Twilight of the Gods, Instance Dungeon, completed, Infernal Shrine, Instance Dungeon, completed, Ghost Valley, completed, Mission Reward, 1 Divine Blood, 1 Demon Seed. The reward has been issued, please check in the inventory. Lu Chen took a deep breath. Oh my god, I finally completed this mission. Quickly opening his backpack, Lu Chen found 2 new items at the bottom of his backpack. The color of these 2 items was platinum. Platinum? What level is this? It should be stronger than dark gold. The divine blood was placed in a small medicine box. The demon seed was placed in a small wooden box. It was a mix of black and irregular. At this moment, Lu Chen was extremely nervous. After working so hard for so long, it was finally time for him to reap the rewards. Taking a deep breath, Lu Chen chose to check the description of these 2 platinum items. Divine Blood, Effect 1, upgrade 9 types of inferior bloodlines to 9th stage. At the same time, all inferior bloodlines will evolve into normal bloodlines. Description: the upper limit of inferior bloodlines is 9th stage. After upgrading to normal bloodlines, the upper limit will increase to 1st stage 9th stage. Seeing the first effect, Lu Chen was stunned. Upgrade 9 types of bloodlines to 9th stage. That was enough to defy the natural order. One had to know that upgrading a bloodline by 1 stage required a lot of materials. The higher the level, the more terrifying the materials. Until now, most of Lu Chen's bloodlines were only at 6th stage. However, the divine blood did not even ask about the initial level and directly upgraded to the top. Does it have to be so strong? Lu Chen was shocked. Damn, I shouldn't have upgraded my bloodline before. Get the divine blood and upgrade it directly to 9th stage. Chapter 280. Lu Chen was too excited. After thinking about it, he realized that his idea was still too naive. If not for these high-grade bloodlines, Lu Chen would not be able to complete those crazy missions for the God's Blood Demon Seed. Alright, but it's already a huge gain to go from rank 6 to rank 9. In addition, the God's Blood had another effect, which was to increase the type of bloodline. This was even more powerful. Until now, Lu Chen's talents were not low, but other than a few flower goblin bloodlines, most of them were inferior talents. At first, Lu Chen thought that as long as there was a qualitative change, he would be able to change from inferior to normal bloodlines. But now, it seemed that the bloodline was fixed, and the quality of the bloodline only determined the level limit. He had to use items like the God's Blood to completely change the quality of the bloodline. Damn, luckily I got the God's Blood, or else I would have reached the limit of rank 9. Lu Chen's eyes widened. Damn, from this effect, the God's Blood is really crazy strong. The effect of the God's Blood was not over yet. Effect 2, evolves Mortal God's Might into Extreme Mortal God's Might. Extreme Mortal God's Might, increase the level limit by 20%, the spiritual energy gained from killing monsters with a 20% difference in level will no longer decrease, stackable. So the god's blood is the evolution material of the god's might. Lu Chen was still depressed. Although his level limit had increased, the experience gained from killing low-level monsters was much less. His level limit was high, but the highest level monsters were still only level 50, which caused him to not level up recently. With the extreme mortal god's might, the experience gained from killing level 50 monsters would no longer decrease. Effect 3. Activate the innate god's might, Imperial God's Might. Once the innate god's might is used, all players in the current map whose power level is lower than the user's and whose level is lower than the user's will be affected by the god's might. During the duration of the skill, the player will contribute 0.001% minus 0.1% of the base attribute. Current god's might level limit is 20,000 points. Duration, 30 minutes. Cooldown, 7 days. After the Imperial God's Might effect disappears, the God's Witness will enter, weakened state, base attribute reduced by 2 points. Description: players can make a single or multiple choices from the 4 dimensions and decide the percentage of the sacrifice within the range of the sacrifice. After the sacrifice, the player will be in the sacrifice status. Within 7 days, the basic attributes of the sacrifice will be reduced by 50%, and the player will not enjoy the bonus effect of the equipment. Lu Chen could no longer remain calm after reading the description. His eyes widened and his face was filled with disbelief. Fuck, what the hell is this? He had never seen such a skill before. In other words, he could make all the players in the current map sacrifice a part of their abilities. Although the ratio was from 0.001% to 0.1%, which didn't seem like a lot, with so many players, even if everyone contributed 1 point, they could easily reach the upper limit of 20,000. 20,000 attribute points. This skill was truly a godly skill. Moreover, when the level of divine might increases in the future, the upper limit should increase. However, entering a weakened state after the skill ends, not only will the bonus attributes be gone, but the attributes will also be reduced by 2 times. Also, after the player sacrifices, the attributes of the sacrifice will be reduced by 50% for 7 days. This side effect is quite strong. The god's blood is indeed very strong, especially the bonus to the talent. It's beyond my imagination. Lu Chen said excitedly, it's worth the effort I put in to complete this mission. It's this Imperial God's Might. Looks like it can't be used casually. Lu Chen couldn't help but breathe heavily. Oh right, let's see the Magic Seed. Magic Seed, Effect 1, increases the mission's grade to 1 star, the bonus effect of increasing the grade's attribute by 20%. Effect 2, evolves Mortal Body Magic Seed into Extreme Mortal Body Magic Seed. Extreme Mortal Body Magic Seed increases the level limit by 20%. The spiritual energy obtained from killing monsters with a 20% difference in level will no longer decrease, stackable. Hehe, that means I can reach level 70, and the experience gained from killing level 50 monsters won't be reduced. Lu Chen smiled slightly, the effect was similar to what he expected. Effect 3, activates Innate Magic Seed, Unnatural Demonic Aura. Once the innate demonic aura is used, all units in the current map with lower power level and level than the user will be affected. The demonized user will absorb 0.001% of the base attributes of all targets in the map, current level limit, 20,000. Effect lasts for 1800 seconds, cooldown time, 7 days. After Against the Sky Demon Seed disappears, the demonized player will enter, backlash, state, base attribute reduced by 20,000 *2. Description: when the target's attribute is forcibly absorbed, the 4-dimensional absorption will be random. After absorption, the target will enter, demonic repellent state. For 7 days, the target's attribute will be reduced by 90%, and the target will not receive any bonus from the equipment. This is the whole map absorbing star's great technique? Lu Chen was shocked. Burning Heaven God's might was already overpowered, but against the Sky Demon Seed was even more unreasonable. At least Burning Heaven Gods might ask the player how much they wanted to sacrifice, but against the Sky Demon Seed directly absorbed it, forcefully absorbing it. And after being absorbed, the player's demonic repellent state was even worse than the offering state, with a 90% reduction. Fuck, a demon is a demon, it doesn't care if the other players are willing or not. Lu Chen shook his head. After thinking about it, Lu Chen took a deep breath. Both Holy Sky Demon Seed and Against the Sky Demon Seed are very strong, their talents and quality have improved a lot. But these two Heaven's Might skills really can't be used carelessly. Even if he didn't consider the effect on other players, after using the skills, Lu Chen himself would enter a weakened or backlash state, and his current attributes couldn't afford to be so low. Unless it was a last resort, he definitely couldn't use it. After a few months of hard work, Lu Chen finally completed the legendary hidden quest and obtained the demonic seed of God's blood. His Heaven's Might was strengthened again. Looking at the players around Firmament City, Lu Chen didn't need to occupy Firmament City anymore. With a smile, Lu Chen summoned the 9-winged Sky Dragon. 9-winged. Jumping on the 9-winged Sky Dragon, Lu Chen roared down, "The massacre in Firmament City is over." After saying that, the 9-winged Sky Dragon carried Lu Chen and flew into the sky, flying into the distance. Back in his territory, Lu Chen looked at his quest pane again. Now there was only one quest on his quest pane, the level 2 quest that he promised Lu Yi to complete, Sanctimonious. Second Heaven Domain. Lu Chen muttered. "Do I have to go?" Before Lu Yi was killed, she asked Lu Chen 3 questions. Do you know what's in the level 2? Do you know how strong they are? Do you know how cruel they are? Lu Chen obviously couldn't answer these questions, but he knew Lu Yi's strength. She was almost invincible, but even she didn't dare to go to the level 2, which showed how terrifying the level 2 was. Moreover, the Skyline official website clearly announced that when the level 2 opened, it would give all players a huge surprise. Chapter 281. Although the Divine Blood Demonic Seed mission had been completed, Lu Chen still had a bunch of trivial matters to deal with. The level of his personal dungeon also needed to be increased. Currently, most of the players in the server were at level 40, so Lu Chen spent some gold coins to upgrade his personal dungeon to level 45. This way, his dungeon would still be very attractive to players above level 40. Other than that, Lu Chen also wanted to upgrade the level of the army hall. My army token is now at the 3rd class enhancement. I still need to upgrade it. Lu Chen's reputation was definitely enough now. Not to mention the high star materials dropped from the bosses, just from killing so many players a few days ago, he had accumulated a few 100 million reputation points. After exchanging for a few 9-star materials, Lu Chen upgraded his army token to the 4th class enhancement. Previously, Lu Chen had chosen 6 Red Robe Ghosts mini-bosses and 4 Swamp Zombies mini-bosses to replenish his subordinates. 10 Tiger Kings, 6 Ghost Kings, 4 Zombie Kings, 8 Heads, 3 Idiots. Lu Chen looked at his army members and shook his head helplessly. What a headache. My army members are really ugly. Although these army members were not good-looking, their strength was still not bad. With the bonus from the army, they were much stronger than normal monsters. Army members could inherit the attributes of new species, but Lu Chen was too lazy to do so now. After all, they all had their own strengths. Other than those that did not have healing abilities, they had all the tanky, damage output, and area of effect attacks. It was quite perfect. I wonder where I can find monsters that can heal. After the army token was upgraded to the 4th class enhancement, the territory could also be upgraded to the level 4 army hall. Lu Chen noticed that after the army hall reached level 4, two new buildings appeared, the Army Bloodline Enhancement Center and the Military Rank Management Center. The Army Bloodline Enhancement Center could increase the attributes of one army member by a small amount every day, and the Military Rank Management Center could grant the army subordinates a military rank. With a high military rank, not only would there be a considerable attribute bonus, but they would also obtain the authority to command their own troops. Currently, the Army's Qiangu Ha Center was not very useful. After all, its level was still relatively low. However, the Military Rank Management Center interested Lu Chen. In fact, the current 10 tigers and the others were already much stronger than normal monsters. After the upgrade of their grade, Army level, and Army level, their army attribute had been strengthened. It was no exaggeration to say that they were even stronger than normal dungeon bosses. However, the bosses Lu Chen had faced before were too powerful, so they hadn't participated in the battle for a long time. However, regardless of whether it was the blood sacrifice shield or the rapid leveling up, the army subordinates would be very useful. Furthermore, who knew what other uses the army hall would have when its level was higher? Lu Chen had an obsessive urge to max out his level due to the effects of the two heavenly wrath. In the first heaven, the more advantages he had, the more likely he would be to win in the second heaven. Now, it was time for his subordinates to show off their skills. I don't have any 7-star or 8-star materials right now, but I can raise the grade of 2 people to 8-star, and 8-star monsters' attributes were already very overpowered. If they were to change into a full set of equipment, unless it was a super boss in a large-scale dungeon, they would definitely have the ability to clear a normal dungeon. If there were 2 teams farming EXP at the same time, it meant that Lu Chen's EXP was constantly increasing. This way, Lu Chen could level up to level 70 faster. I can do it. However, let's see if there are any monsters that can heal first. Without healing, it's still difficult to clear the dungeon. Speaking of which, Lu Chen had almost explored the entire Jiutian map. He had fought most of the monsters, but he hadn't met any monsters that could heal. Maybe there are some that I missed. After thinking about it, Lu Chen decided to go to the Jiutian high-end players communication group to ask about the situation. Newbie, morning, excuse me, big brother, have you ever fought a monster that healed you? Admin, Aunt Yi, morning. Hey, you finally appeared. I was looking for you before. Morning, do you have a master? Newbie, morning, I don't. Admin, Aunt Yi, last time, you said in the group that we shouldn't go online when the Asia server merged. I didn't expect you to be right. That day was really scary. Mad Demon massacred the entire city for 3 days and 3 nights. Who knew that when Aunt Yi mentioned massacring the entire city, the whole group suddenly became lively. Admin, strong men not bald, don't talk about it. I was killed by Mad Demon himself that day. That guy was not human at all. One poison dealt 1 million damage. I almost collapsed at that time. Feng Qingyang, Brother Guang, you were killed by Mad Demon himself? Damn, to be killed by Mad Demon himself is already very strong. Most people die in the hands of his doppelganger. Guogua, I really envy you guys. You guys still have the chance to fight with Mad Demon's doppelganger. I was killed by his doppelganger that day. I didn't know what happened at that time. A large group of people died in front of me. Daily Delivery Express, you guys call that miserable? I was so scared that I hid far away. Then, I was smashed to death by the rain of spiritual swords. Admin, only you in the world, you guys won't believe it. At that time, I saw a sky full of petals. It was so beautiful. Then, I reached out to catch one. I died, Su Xiaoshu, brothers and sisters, I died in the hands of the 9-winged sky dragon. I didn't even see Mad Demon. Can I give my life to you? Do you still remember that Mad Demon, that pervert, used Ju K a few times in the beginning? I heard that he wanted to test the mountain protection array of Lingshao City at that time. In the end, I was unjustly attacked. Suddenly, the whole group became a gathering to see who was more miserable. On the day of the massacre, these guys died more miserably than the other. All kinds of strange ways of dying emerged. Those who heard it were sad and shed tears. Lu Chen was also speechless. At that time, he massacred the city in groups. But when it came to specific people, it was a different feeling. Admin, Aunt Yi, the thread is crooked, the thread is crooked. Morning, we discussed it 2 days ago. You are definitely a rare talent. Newbie, morning. Admin, little sheep, luck is also a part of strength. We think that you are very lucky. You even believed in such a ridiculous rumor. In the end, it came true. So, we want to take you as our disciple. Newbie, morning, big brothers, can you stop fooling around? I am very weak. I don't deserve to be your disciple. Feng Qingyang, we always think that we are unlucky and need someone with good luck to help us. It doesn't matter if your level is low. We can take you. Newbie, morning, it's like this. I am also unlucky. I can't even get a blue equipment. Group leader, Big Orange, morning, do you want to know where to heal monsters? Admin, Aunt Yi, wow, even the group leader came out to join in the fun. Morning, Big Orange is from the Crazy Waves Guild. The nameless Crazy Waves Guild is the only guild that Mad God won't touch. Feng Qingyang, speaking of which, not many people know about healing monsters. This is a secret in our group. Group leader, Big Orange, now that we all have disciples under our names, you will be registered first. When the first disciple finishes his apprenticeship, he will take you as his disciple. As long as you agree, I will tell you where to find healing monsters. Lu Chen was a little depressed. He came here to ask about healing monsters. Why was he suddenly being taken as a disciple? Chapter 282. Lu Chen couldn't take the sudden enthusiasm of the group members. He didn't know if they were joking or serious. Speaking of which, this group was quite magical. Last time, they helped him decipher the rebirth maxim. This time, they even knew where the healers were. Lu Chen leveled up too quickly. In fact, he didn't know the basics as well as the normal players. This group had its uses. Morning, dear bosses, although I'm a noob, I have high standards. There's a condition to be my master. Guogua, what condition? Meng Xian, morning, the person who is going to be my master must be very powerful. At least, he has to be more powerful than my friend. Feng Qingyang, real-life friends or in-game friends? Newbie, morning, friends in the game. Aunt Yi, ha ha ha, little morning, you're too funny. From the questions you asked, I'm guessing you're around level 20. What's your friend's level? Group leader Big Orange, interesting. I like it. How about this, whoever's disciple graduates can try it out. I think it'll be interesting to bring little morning to level up. Split the world, ha ha ha, it's not easy to see such a stupid noob. My disciple is always saying he wants to level up. I'm so annoyed by him. Newbie, morning, Big Orange group leader Big Boss, can you tell me where to fight the healing monster? I can buy your information. Group leader, Big Orange, I'm not a big boss. I'm just a group leader. The real big bosses in the group don't talk. Actually, if you can become one of their disciples, you'll be lucky. If you want to buy it, then forget about it. You're just looking for healing monsters to make them your battle pets, right? Your level is too low. The healing monsters are in the mountains behind Firmament City. There's a forbidden area there. Don't enter the forbidden area. It's said that no one who goes in comes out alive. There are a few scattered humanoid monsters outside that heal. Newbie, morning, write more about Big Brother Cheng. Then I'll catch him when my level is higher. Damn, there's a forbidden area behind Firmament City? Lu Chen was shocked. He went to so many secret areas and dungeons, but he didn't even know there was a forbidden area in front of his house. It was all thanks to these normal players. After thanking him, Lu Chen hurriedly logged into the game, summoned 9 wings, and set off. The 9-winged celestial dragon would always be the focus of everyone's attention, especially after the mad demon had just finished massacring the city. When people saw this mount, they felt their hair stand on end. Holy shit, that's a 9-winged celestial dragon. Is the mad demon here to massacre the city again? Motherfucker, it can't be. If they continue to massacre the city, we won't be able to play anymore. After landing in High Firmament City, people saw that it was not Mad Demon who had come this time. It's Brother Nameless. Wait, is he going to massacre the city as well? He's so familiar with Mad Demon. Lu Chen put away his 9 wings and noticed that the people around him were pointing at him. Not long after, a few players from unknown countries ran over. Nameless, Huaxia's players say that you're the god of war. Why didn't you stop Mad Demon when he massacred the city? Why did you even lend him the 9-winged celestial dragon? You want to be Huaxia's god of war? Are you in cahoots with Mad Demon? Lu Chen frowned slightly as he looked at the angry faces of the people in front of him. They seemed to be speaking in Korean. You're from the original Korean server, aren't you? Lu Chen smiled slightly. These people's provocation seemed very low-level, but if one understood their identities as players of the Korean server, they would realize that their intentions were very sinister. Nameless had many supporters, and at the same time, there were people who said that he had a close relationship with Mad Demon. Their goal was to isolate Nameless first. If Nameless admitted that they were friends, he would lose a lot of Huaxia's supporters. If he denied his relationship with Mad Demon, they would isolate him and Mad Demon. Before the fight even started, they had to be on the side of reason to prevent people from saying that they were being unreasonable. Lu Chen smiled as he shook his head. Playing tricks in a fight, how cowardly are you? Don't worry, if you want to take revenge, you can come at any time. Mad Demon won't help me, but if you try to play tricks in front of me again, don't blame me for not showing mercy. With that, Lu Chen walked into Firmament City without looking back. In a corner of the crowd, a few players from the Korean server narrowed their eyes. This Nameless was too quick-witted, and his confidence was no less than Mad Demon's. He can't be as strong as Mad Demon, right? Huaxia said that as long as Nameless doesn't show up, Mad Demon is invincible. It should be true. I don't think so. When Mad Demon massacred the city, Huaxia's people were just as shocked as us. If that's the case, Mad Demon's strength should be beyond their imagination. If Mad Demon doesn't come to help him, we might have a chance to avenge ourselves. That's right, after all, we have that guy. If it wasn't for the fact that we agreed that he would only deal with Nameless, Mad Demon might not have been able to massacre the city. There were still some players from the Korean server who were unwilling to accept their failure, and they even hid their secret weapons. However, Lu Chen did not know about that. He was busy perfecting his army. On the mountainside of Firmament City, Lu Chen searched for a long time before he finally found the entrance to the back of the mountain behind a farmer's house. Are you going to the back of the mountain? A blind old woman walked toward him with a walking stick. After playing Jyotian for so long, everyone had the same feeling. One must be patient with NPCs, especially those who took the initiative to talk to them. They might even give you a hidden quest. Granny, I'm going to the back of the mountain. Oh. The old woman's ears seemed to be not working well, and she could not see. She took a long time to react. Then you must be careful. Many people died to get out. Don't worry, it's the forbidden area of Firmament City. I'm going to the forbidden area this time. Granny, do you know about the forbidden area? Are there any taboos there? Lu Chen tried his best to find out. Of course I know. My husband, my son, and my grandson all died there. The old woman seemed to be talking about the past. Although she did not show any emotion, it was still very moving. Young man, if you must go in, then remember my words. After you go in, don't listen to what you shouldn't hear, don't see what you shouldn't see, and don't do what you shouldn't do. Lu Chen frowned. He did not know what the old woman meant. It seemed that he would only know after he went in. Young man, I can feel that you are stronger than the people who came before you. If you have the chance to see her alive, help me ask her if she can let me go and let me leave this place. Activated hidden quest, love and hate, can only be accepted once. Quest description: 1,000 years ago, Zhang Lingyan and the owner of the forbidden area were close friends. However, a disagreement caused the two to break up. In order to punish Zhang Lingyan for her betrayal, the owner of the forbidden area did not hesitate to trap the beast in the forbidden area of Firmament City. He wanted Zhang Lingyan to pay the price by killing all of her family members. Quest details: kill the owner of the forbidden area or kill Zhang Lingyan. Quest reward: depending on the completion of the quest, the reward will be given based on the outcome of the quest. Lu Chen frowned and looked at the old woman in front of him. Only then did he notice that the old woman's name was not Zhang Lingyan. What the hell? She's not playing by the rules again. Chapter 283. It was Lu Chen's first time seeing such a weird mission. He could not understand the mission itself. Lu Chen did not care too much. Let's continue with the mission first. Passing through the back door of the old woman's backyard, Lu Chen followed the small path that led to the Lingxiao city's forbidden area. Not long after, he saw dozens of humans called mountain bandits. These were wild monsters, level 41 to 45, with various professions. Among them, the mountain bandit apothecary could heal. They don't feel very strong. I'll go in and take a look. If there's nothing else, I'll come back and catch more. Lu Chen quickly cleared the path and soon came to a stone forest. There was a stone tablet at the intersection with words written on it. Lingxiao City's forbidden area, dark and gloomy dungeon, endless hatred. Lu Chen was surprised to find that the system gave him a special notification this time. This place was built long before Lingxiao City. The Almighty who built Lingxiao City wanted to use Lingxiao City's Mountain Protection Array and the Mountain Guardian Divine Beast to weaken the monster in the dungeon. Today, the Yin-Yang Black Tortoise Golden Armor Array was destroyed and the Divine Beast died in battle. This place is showing signs of loosening. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. This seems to be done by me. This place had existed for even longer than Lingxiao City. Speaking of which, the Golden Armor Array and the 3 Divine Beasts could only weaken the guy in the dungeon. That guy's strength. Lu Chen could not help but put away his playful attitude. The guy in the dungeon was definitely not simple. Alright, I was just feeling bored. After saying that, Lu Chen entered the forbidden area. The forbidden area was not a dungeon, but an open field. It was just that there were a large number of boulders placed in a certain pattern. He did not know if it was some kind of ancient array. Speaking of which, the ancient battlefield was mainly filled with various stone arrays. It was somewhat similar to this place. You have entered the ancient stone array. Your entry has affected the stone array's suppression. Not long after the system's notification, a seductive laughter came from afar. He, someone else came in. It's a handsome guy. Looks like he must be that B*TCH's lover. Lu Chen was a little ashamed. He didn't seem to be a handsome man. He only said that he could give her a quick death. Not far away, a pink figure passed from one stone pillar to another, disappearing in a flash. Wait, that granny said that I shouldn't see what I shouldn't see, listen to what I shouldn't hear, and do what I shouldn't do. Then should I go and take a look now? Lu Chen thought for a moment and decided to give up on chasing after her. He continued walking towards the center of the ancient stone array. The stone formation was larger than he had imagined. There were stone forests everywhere. Lu Chen had to check the map from time to time so that he would not get lost. Fuck, I suspect that the entire mountain is a forbidden area. Such a big map. Lu Chen had just closed the map when he suddenly saw a woman leaning against a stone pillar not far away. Lu Chen had seen many women. They were everywhere in the Jiutian. But after seeing this woman, Lu Chen felt that he could not walk anymore. This woman was wearing a pink hanbok, but she was not wearing it properly. Her top was pressed to her chest, and her shoulders were exposed. Her smooth thighs stretched out from the bottom of her skirt, and she used her toes to draw circles on the ground seductively. Lu Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. As a hot-blooded man, seeing this scene, he almost had a nosebleed. What a seductive woman. Fuck, she's pretty. Want to play? The woman lowered her head slightly. Although she had a shy expression, with her outfit, she was seductive to the extreme. Lu Chen swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Fuck, Skywalker does this too. How did you pass the trial? Come on, there's no one else here. Am I not pretty enough? No, what she said was not the truth. This woman was so beautiful that there was nothing wrong with it. And that figure, one look was enough to make people unable to move their feet. Lu Chen only felt that his feet were 1,000 pounds heavy. What happened to fighting monsters? Whether it was curiosity or desire, he really wanted to walk over. All the feelings in Jiutian felt so real. Then, let's give it a try. At this moment, Lu Yi's call came. Brother, Sister Nguyen is asking when you're free. It's about the guest appearance in the new drama. Hearing Lu Yi's voice, Lu Chen finally suppressed his desire. Oh, that, cough cough, that, I'll go look for her tomorrow. Brother, why are you panicking? As expected of a sister who grew up together. Lu Chen's words were a little strange and he was immediately discovered. I'm not. I just woke up. I'm just a little sleepy. Oh, don't always sleep in the game cabin. Take care of yourself. It was the sister's turn to lecture her brother. Got it. After hanging up the phone, Lu Chen took a deep breath. His mood was disturbed by Lu Yi. Forget it, forget it. Sister, if you want to hit me, then hit me. Don't seduce me. I admit that my willpower is weak. Lu Chen shook his head and continued to walk towards the center. Don't go, okay? What's so fun there? Come here. As long as you come here, I'll do whatever you want. Lu Chen walked with a nosebleed. I'm not looking, I'm not looking. Out of sight, out of mind. As he walked, the woman's voice finally disappeared. Lu Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Fuck, so resisting a beauty is such a painful thing. However, when Lu Chen opened the map again, he suddenly realized that he had deviated from the route. Perhaps it was too difficult to concentrate, or perhaps it was because he wanted to leave too much. Lu Chen unconsciously deviated from the route and accidentally walked into the stone forest on the other side. On this side, there were even more stone pillars. A gentle hand rested on Lu Chen's shoulder. Then, a warm fragrance entered his arms. Lu Chen looked up in shock and saw a pair of gentle eyes right in front of him. Little brother, you still came. You still can't help but want to do the things you like to do with me, right? If Lu Chen was able to resist the temptation before, then now, the woman was wrapped around his body. He could even feel her westernized arms, her breath like orchids, her pearl-like teeth biting her pink lips, and her yearning gaze. No man would be able to resist this test. Follow me. The woman held Lu Chen's hand and walked behind the stone monument. There were 10,000 voices in Lu Chen's mind telling him not to go over, but his body followed him over for some reason. Save me, save me, save me. What should I do? It's over, it's over. I'll definitely be gone once I enter the instance dungeon. Now, Lu Chen suddenly understood the old granny's warning. He didn't look at what he shouldn't look at, he didn't listen to what he shouldn't listen to, and most importantly, he didn't do what he shouldn't do. Damn it, even heroes have a weakness for the charms of a beauty. Anyway, I have enough equipment. This quest is only an epic tier quest. It can't be better than the demonic seed with divine blood. Why don't I give it a try? At this moment, Lu Chen heard a voice. Boss, don't go. She will steal your demonic seed with divine blood. It was Xiao Min's voice. Where did this brat come from? A second ago, she was still a charming and beautiful woman. In the blink of an eye, she revealed a murderous aura and raised her hand. She directly hit Xiao Min, who was possessing Lu Chen, out. So it's just a mere ghost pet. I'll consign you to eternal damnation. The woman instantly pounced on Xiao Min, who had already revealed herself. Chapter 284. Xiao Min had been following Lu Chen, but Lu Chen had not shared any experience points with her. Because with him, Xiao Min was always safe. In fact, Xiao Min's health points were only 2,000. Although she was only affected by spiritual attacks, the monsters in the past could not hit 2,000 spiritual attacks. Now, the boss could easily hit a high spiritual attack, especially this woman. He felt that her spiritual attack could not be low. Eternal damnation? Could it be that Xiao Min would disappear forever? In addition, the reason why Xiao Min spoke at this time made Lu Chen think of Xiao Min's skill to help the master block a fatal attack. In other words, if he really went with the woman, it was possible that he would die directly. At this time, Lu Chen finally woke up. Although the woman was attractive, it was absolutely impossible to touch Xiao Min. You want to kill her? Have you asked for my permission? Lu Chen shouted angrily, earth-splitting chasm. The woman looked back and her eyes were about to split open. The man was awake. Stinky man, don't think that I'm afraid of you. With a loud bang, the wishful long staff slammed down, and the woman did not dare to take it head-on. Her figure hurriedly retreated and avoided the attack. However, the 15-meter chasm on the ground saved Xiao Min in the nick of time. Quick move. Lu Chen quickly moved to Xiao Min's side. Are you okay? Boss, I'm fine, but I'm a little afraid of her. She can make me disappear forever. Don't be fooled by her again, okay? Lu Chen touched Xiao Min with a distressed expression. I was wrong just now. I won't be fooled by her again. Don't be afraid. Come back. Okay. Xiao Min obediently returned to Lu Chen. With the wishful long staff in hand, Lu Chen turned to look at the woman. The woman smiled at him and said, What were you planning to do with me just now? Now you want to hit me with such a big staff. Lu Chen chuckled. Just now, I was really curious about what would happen if I went with you. However, Xiao Min has already told me that if I go with you, I will die. Ha ha ha, don't make it sound so noble. I know all too well what you men are thinking. Those who can enter, as long as they are men, even if they know that following me is a dead end, no one can resist. Lu Chen pursed his lips. Well, I've already admitted that I'm not that good at self-control. I'm a single man, and I don't even have a girlfriend. If a woman like you takes the initiative to offer herself to me, probably no one would reject. Unfortunately, you shouldn't have touched Xiao Min. Since you moved, I can only kill you. The woman smiled slightly. You're quite arrogant. Unfortunately, you overestimate yourself. I'm not afraid to tell you that my master has completed her evolution. She will come out soon. When that time comes, all of you will die. Lu Chen was speechless. This woman was not the master of this forbidden area. She would also evolve. Would she rise in stars like him? Phantom doppelganger. After the woman finished speaking, hundreds of female doppelgangers came out from behind a large number of stone pillars. Do you all think that this large array can still trap my master? Sorry, this place is already used by us. Speaking of which, I have to thank you. If you hadn't broken the yin-yang black tortoise golden armor array and killed the 3 mythological beasts, my master wouldn't have been able to complete her evolution so early. Lu Qin narrowed his eyes slightly. This woman had already known about his strength. The woman smiled. Although I can't beat you, with this large array, I can easily kill you. Ancient sky-stealing sun-swapping array. The surrounding stone forest suddenly moved quickly. Every position was unpredictable and difficult to capture. Damn, what do you mean? They have already broken this large array. This array has already become theirs. Lu Chen was shocked. A large array that could seal her master. If it was reactivated, would it be able to seal him? Once it was sealed, wouldn't he be unable to get out? Lu Chen realized that this forbidden area of Firmament City was more terrifying than he had imagined. The rapidly moving stone forest was constantly changing positions. An invisible force was being generated. Lu Chen, who was in the center of the array, felt more and more suppressed. His HP was decreasing. What was strange was that this was under the condition that he wasn't receiving any damage. Blood Fiend Shield. The Blood Fiend Shield was useless. Lu Chen's HP was still decreasing. What was even more terrifying was that his HP was decreasing. What's going on? Why is my HP decreasing? Lu Chen frowned. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. Check my character panel. The numbers on his character panel were rapidly decreasing. His thoughts, attack, defense, and HP were all decreasing. Among the 9 great professions, the Talisman Master specialized in arrays. Who would have thought that a top-level array would be so overpowered? Just by standing in the array, Lu Chen's attributes were rapidly decreasing. Damn it, my eyes are getting blurry. I can't find that woman's real body. The terrifying thing about arrays was that they couldn't even find the opponent. They would directly decrease their attributes. The longer they stayed in the array, the lower their attributes would be. Zhang Lingyan finally did a good deed. She tricked a powerful person into coming in. Your attributes will soon be mine. Ha 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 ha. A woman's strange laughter came from afar. It was impossible to tell the direction. Lu Chen would never have dreamed that he would actually be trapped by this array. Calm down, calm down. Even if it's an array, there are ways to break it. Lu Chen took a deep breath and carefully sorted out the current clues. First, according to the woman's words, Zhang Lingyan was very likely that old granny. It was just that she had changed her name. NPCs could change their names. If Lu Chen had known earlier, he would have directly killed Zhang Lingyan and completed the mission. Second, this array seemed to be stealing his attributes and would eventually transfer them to that woman. As for how much would be stolen in the end, it was unknown at the moment. Third, this woman seemed to be able to activate the array once. After clarifying these 3 points, Lu Chen was no longer nervous. What he needed to do now was to wait for the array to stop. Sure enough, the stone forest spun for a while before finally stopping. Lu Chen checked his status. His various attributes, including those provided by equipment, had all decreased by 80%. Hundreds of women's clones once again stretched out their bodies from behind the stone pillars. Solipsistic, now I have 80% of your attributes. In other words, no matter what, I am stronger than you. How are you going to fight me? Wow, your attributes are so high. How did you do it? It was really worth it for me to spend so much effort to restart the array. The woman exclaimed unscrupulously. Ha ha ha, as long as you are trapped in the array, your attributes will always be mine. Ha 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 ha, great, I have also become strong. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. This battle was going to be a bit difficult. Lu Chen looked at the woman coldly and pulled out the wishful staff and the devil's blade. Beauty, whether you are stronger than me or not is not based on words. To be honest, I am a little regretful now. How could I have been confused by a woman like you? Look at you now, you are really ugly. No, you are stupid and ugly. I wouldn't want it even if you gave it to me. What did you say? The woman's shrill voice was unusually angry, but then she calmed down. Oh, I almost fell for your trick. You just want to provoke me. Unfortunately, I am not so easily fooled. Lu Chen snorted coldly, and the corner of his mouth raised slightly. You don't believe me when I say you are stupid. You will know when you die. You are so stubborn. Now, I will send you on your way. Hundreds of clones rushed from behind the stone pillars toward Lu Chen. Lu Chen smiled slightly. The other party had finally made her move. I can only say that you have provoked someone you should not have provoked. Against the heavens. Suddenly, the entire sky above Lingxiao City was covered with dark clouds, lightning, and thunder. Chapter 285. 30 minutes before Lu Chen entered the forbidden area of Firmament City, something big was happening in the Asia server. Today was the second day after Mad Demon left Firmament City. The players of the Asia server were quite pitiful. On the first day of the main city battle, Mad Demon caught them and massacred the entire city for 3 days and 3 nights. Many players went to Skyline to complain about this. The reply they received was that it was the players' personal actions and Skyline would not interfere. However, Skyline gave a suggestion to the players about missing out on the main city battle. They held an Asian Server Guild Alliance conference on the internet. We at Skyline understand that everyone feels wronged. However, Solipsistic did not use any illegal means to gain strength. His decision to massacre the entire city was his own decision. We have no right to interfere, said a Skyline staff member. Someone immediately said angrily, massacring the entire city for 3 days and 3 nights. How are we going to play this game? That's right. Also, his poison attack is 1 million. Who can take that? Said a Skyline staff member. We have already said that Jiutian contains a lot of opportunities. I believe that many people have such opportunities. We don't need to talk about this anymore. Now, we are not here to discuss solipsistic strength. We are here to discuss the issue of the Firmament City Lord. Our suggestion is for everyone to set a time and start the battle again. Someone immediately suggested. We definitely have to fight. I think it's better to do it today, now, right now. Yes, Firmament City cannot be without a leader. I also think that now is the best time. If Mad Demon decides to massacre the entire city again, it would be a waste of an opportunity. By the way, some of us saw John Doe of Huaxia appear in Lingxiao City. If he is here, Mad Demon may care about his face and not come to massacre the city. We just took this opportunity to compete for the Castellan position. Everyone quickly decided that the battle for the new main city would begin immediately. Okay, let's go back and inform the other guilds immediately. Although it was not the weekend, it did not matter to the professional players whether it was the weekend or not. The other guilds gathered outside Firmament City as soon as they heard the call from the other guilds. We must decide the winner today. We must take down High Heaven City. This is definitely a top priority for our guild. Yamato, gather here first. This time, we can't let the fight be so chaotic. In the midst of their conversation, dark clouds suddenly gathered above their heads. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Damn, what's going on? Is there going to be a storm? Jiutian had its own weather system, but it had never seen such an exaggerated weather phenomenon. Where's the prophet? Guild leader, something's not right. These aren't dark clouds. These are, what is it? I don't know either. The president almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Under the cover of the dark clouds, the sky above Firmament City darkened. Then, a bolt of lightning flashed in the sky, and 4 words appeared at the same time. When players used skills, the name of the skill would be displayed. Even Lu Chen's current skill would be displayed. Heaven-defying demonic might. What the hell? Why are there words in the sky? Demonic aura. What demonic might? While everyone was still in shock, someone suddenly realized that he had been hit by a debuff. Debuff, demonic barrier, all stats reduced by 90%. Duration, 7 days. Damn, all stats reduced by 90%. Everyone was shocked. What the hell is this? Damn, it lasts for 7 days. 90% stats in 7 days. What's the point of playing? Did everyone get hit by it? Damn, don't tell me everyone in the map got hit by it. I'm really speechless. After being massacred for 3 days, the mad demon finally left. Now there's this abnormal weather phenomenon with demonic might. Can it not be so sad? Demonic might, demonized player will absorb 0.001% of the target's stats, current level limit, 20,000. Effect lasts for 1800 seconds. Cooldown, 7 days. After demonic might's effect disappears, the demonized player will enter backlash. Their stats will be reduced by 20,000 *2 points. Although the absorbed stats weren't much, but after being forcefully absorbed, the player's stats will be reduced by 90%. Cooldown, 7 days. Due to the powerful side effects, Lu Chen originally thought that he wouldn't use this skill as a last resort. However, he didn't think that he would encounter a last resort situation so quickly. Even if there weren't any players fighting for the position, with the flow of people in Sky City, demonic might could easily absorb 20,000 points of stats. Not to mention that there was a large group of people fighting for the position of City Lord. Lu Chen's stats increased by 20,000 points in each of his 4 dimensions. The sky-stealing sun-swapping formation stole 80% of Lu Chen's stats, and Lu Chen's stats didn't exceed 19,000 points. Now, his stats were even scarier than before. Of course, this was secondary. The strongest part of demonic might was still the suppression from the demonic might. The most important point was that the woman didn't have any demonic might, so her stats were reduced by 90%. What's going on? What's going on? Why are my stats so low? The woman looked at Lu Chen in shock. What did you do to me? Lu Chen sneered, you're not on the same level as me. Sorry, but you're already dead. Darkness flash. Lu Chen appeared in front of the woman in an instant. He didn't use any skills and just killed her with a normal attack. Killed two-tailed demon fox, level 50 ancient creature. Captured 110,000 heaven and earth spiritual energy. Obtained 1 grade 6 talent fragment. Obtained 1 6-star evolution point. Extracted 26 pure spiritual energy. Ding. Obtained demon beast core, purple, *2. Oh, it's actually a 2-tailed demon fox. It even dropped 3 purple beast cores. Lu Chen smiled, not bad, not bad. After killing the 2-tailed demon fox, the sky-stealing sun-swapping formation lost its effect and Lu Chen's lost stats were restored. Lu Chen didn't dare delay. After all, he only had 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the side effects would take effect. Let's go find the boss here. Lu Chen ran towards the center of the forbidden area. After a few minutes, he finally arrived at the center of the forbidden area. At this time, 100 meters in front of Lu Chen, there was a pure white fox sitting cross-legged. This fox was 3 to 4 meters tall. It couldn't be compared to a large boss, but it was much bigger than a normal fox. The white fox sat in the center of the formation. Its fur was snow white and there were 3 red spots on its forehead. It slightly opened its blood-red eyes and looked at Lu Chen. You actually broke the sky-stealing sun-swapping formation. I didn't expect it. I cultivated for 1,000 years before I could cultivate my demonic aura. You just entered the Jiutian and already have your own demonic aura. A fox gave people a dignified and elegant feeling. Moreover, it had the voice of an older sister. Lu Chen slightly frowned. If the fact that he broke the formation shocked the demon fox, then the fact that the demon fox also had demonic aura shocked Lu Chen as well. The corner of the demon fox's mouth rose. If that's the case, then it's fun now. After saying that, the demon fox actually turned into a beautiful woman in front of Lu Chen. Now, let's see who can kill the other and steal the other's demon seed. Chapter 286. Outside Firmament City. A group of players in a demonic state were fighting with all their might. However, the style of these top players was a little off. Sky Shuttle Sword Art. Fuck, are you trying to scratch my itch? You only hit 170 HP. Stop talking nonsense, you're about the same. I can still hit 1/10 of your HP with 170 HP. Why did my pet's stats drop too? So be it. Since everyone has dropped, we'll fight all the same. In the distance, Wild Waves and the others who had just returned from the dungeon were dumbfounded. Speaking of Wild Waves, they were not a professional team, so they were only honorary members in the Guild Alliance. They did not receive the news about the fight for the City Lord position. Of course, they did not intend to fight for it. Although they were now a level 5 guild with 2,500 members, none of them were professional players. Nameless had already made it clear that they would not participate in the fight for the City Lord position. With Wild Wave's current strength, it was clearly overestimating themselves to fight for the City Lord position. However, when they returned, they saw a group of kindergartners fighting. Leader, what's going on? Is this a joke? 10 Steps was shocked. The officials said that the players' drops will be adjusted during the siege, but they can't play like this. Fuck, max level players can only deal around 100 damage. It's a little hard to watch. These people's damage and HP were extremely low, but they were all fighting seriously. It did not seem like they were joking at all. Did they lower the stat ratio? That can't be right. Why would they hold back when fighting for a city? Guild leader. Flower Fragrance rushed over in a panic. Hey, did you see the official website? Something big has happened. Everyone in the Firmament City map is under a debuff. Ah. What? Leng Noa asked curiously. Everyone is under a debuff? Yes, it's a debuff called Demonic State. All stats are reduced by 90%. Ah. Is that true? It's true. Many people said it. Flower Fragrance said anxiously. Sister Noa, now is the best time for us to fight for the City Lord position. Everyone was stunned. If all their stats were reduced by 90%, their current attacks would not be able to break through their defense. Noa, it doesn't seem fake, Stardust said seriously. Although we're not the strongest guild, we're definitely the strongest among non-professional teams. If we don't take action now, I'm afraid we won't have another chance in the future. That's right. We can get a lot of resources from this fight for the main city. Even if we get beaten back in the future, we'll still be earning for free. Said. Leng Noa couldn't help but gasp for breath. This was too sudden, but now was not the time to hesitate. Alright, inform all members to come online immediately. Leng Noa stared at the towering city in the distance. Our Kuang Lang will also fight for the position of City Lord. Demonic will has been refreshed. Clone. Lu Chen split into 12 doppelgangers and instantly rushed towards the beautiful woman. You want to snatch this daddy's demonic seed? Try it. Since I've completed my evolution, I'll use you as a sacrifice. The woman didn't back down. She twirled her slender fingers in front of her chest. Imperial Sword Technique. This woman was actually a sword spirit, and she had already mastered the For Unity sword control technique. The immortal sword guides the way was a type of imperial sword technique, but there were only 3 sections at most. In reality, it was just a single imperial sword technique. In the middle of the imperial sword technique, pure spiritual energy was used to change the flying sword's flight path. The real imperial sword technique allowed the user to control the long sword at all times. This woman used 4 swords at once. The dark eye of the gods gave a lot of predictive positions of the moves, which meant that there were countless variations in the moves. Faced with so many variations, Lu Chen and his doppelgangers didn't dare to fight head-on. They were forced to retreat. Phantom formless. The next moment, Demonic Fox used the invisibility skill and disappeared from the spot. The Flower Goblin bloodline couldn't find Demonic Fox's trace. Fuck, I'm going to be outdone by someone else's invisibility. Lu Chen frowned. This boss was different from other bosses. Her skills were more flexible. Fighting with her didn't feel like fighting a boss. Instead, it felt like fighting with other players in an ancient battlefield. Poof, a sword slashed across Lu Chen's left arm. -12444. Damage could be received, and it had something to do with Lu Chen's increased stats. However, experts would never only deal damage in one direction. The moment the long sword that was lucky enough to hit Lu Chen's left arm touched Lu Chen's arm, it started spinning rapidly. Like an electric drill, it crazily drilled into Lu Chen's left arm. 12108, 12743, 12866, 47999, Lotus Diamond, debuff, bleed. Loses 5054 HP per second. Reduces attack speed by 10% for 10 seconds. There were a total of 5 damage segments. The last segment had a high burst and had an abnormal status of bleed. At this moment, Lu Chen was in a very dangerous situation. Flying swords were flying around him. The key was that the opponent had found his real body, but he couldn't find the opponent's real body. Ha 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 ha, solipsistic, with your strength, I really don't know how you got the magic seed. You should be glad that you met me. Otherwise, with your strength, you'd be beaten to a pulp in the second heaven. Time passed by minute by minute. It was already 10 minutes. Lu Chen's stats could only last for another 20 minutes. However, Lu Chen has almost always survived in adversity since he was a child. The more adversity he faced, the more his potential would be stimulated. I'll beat you up like I'm beating dogs. The woman was still shouting arrogantly. The strongest human. Ha 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 ha, you're not even worth mentioning in front of me. Lu Chen turned a deaf ear to her. What he needed now was to calm down. He carefully observed the flying swords around him. Expert, excellent in positioning, first class in operation, with a certain level of prediction ability. Professional players, predicting other people's predictions. Top experts, grasping the opponent's mentality. Any thoughts you have would be seen through by them. If I were her, where would I be? Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly, his brain working at high speed. Suddenly, without any warning, Lu Chen made his move. Tiger's Roar, Great Ravager Sweep. He fiercely used 10 Great Ravager sweeps behind him. Lu Chen's move was too sudden. The demonic fox was still proud of herself a second ago, but in the next second, she was hit by the Great Ravager Sweep. 38500. The moment she was hit, the demonic fox's invisibility was also broken. Experts would never only use one move. Shadow of the Night. Almost at the same time, Lu Chen had already appeared in front of the demonic fox. You're already dead. Lu Chen coldly snorted. Monkey King's Reverse Blood. Rapid Attack. Tiger descends the mountain. A stun could only stun the demonic fox for 1 second, but in that 1 second, the demonic fox's death sentence was already announced. The 6 clones rushed over at the same time, countless sticks smashing towards the demonic fox. A large number of stun, silence, poison, and other statuses were crazily refreshed. Unexpectedly, the demonic fox's health points were only 1,200,000. In less than 10 seconds, when her health points were only 600,000, the demonic fox activated her passive skill. Cicada shedding carapace. The demonic fox left an afterimage on the spot and retreated far away. She looked at Lu Chen in horror. How did you discover my invisibility? Lu Chen's face was full of embarrassment. Although it's a little silly to tell you now, but I'm a generous person, so I'll tell you. The demonic fox widened her eyes and stared at Lu Chen. She desperately wanted to know the answer. Lu Chen smiled slightly. Actually, I guessed, the woman almost vomited blood. After waiting for so long, the solipsistic was actually teasing her. How could he tell her the real method? Damn it, solipsistic, don't think that you've won. I'll make you pay for your arrogance. Oh, is that so? Lu Chen twisted his neck. Actually, the two of us have something in common. That is, now, I'm starting to get a little excited. Then, Lu Chen tore off his human skin, and a dark green horrifying creature struggled out from the human skin. He revealed his ferocious teeth and looked at the demonic fox greedily. Your demon seed, I want it. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.